on the set. Here we go. And we are live Wednesday night with those guys. And Wednesday night with those guys is sponsored by those guys.
What's up, Herman? What's up, everybody? How the hell are you? Marcel, off axis, FPV is here first.
And
I'm glad you're back in New York, man, because I was feeling that I would have to go live to fill this time slot. And like you, I would have been scrambling for news and stuff.
Well, I kind of didn't want to come back so soon, but I'm back, and when I got off the plane, I regretted every minute of it. When I came outside to get a cab, woo, what the hell kind of heat y'all putting down over here? It was not this hot in Florida, but Florida was hot. It was humid, as Florida is.
Yeah.
And, the other day it rained and off and on, and every time you see one cloud pass over,
hey, Daryl,
another one come behind it and drop more rain about 15 minutes later. And that went on for the whole rest of the day, from midday on. But that was that day. But Friday, everything was good. We had a good time down there.
Okay, well, that's the crucial part. As long as your niece, which was the purpose of going down there, had fun, everything else didn't matter.
Well, yeah, you know how back in the day, your parents or your grandparents always wanted to give you a laxative because you ate a bunch of junk over the summertime.
Yeah.
They're getting in their summer already down there eating up all that junk in the park. It was a good time, I have said.
I wanted to speak to you about
what I wanted to do, but I got a couple of shots. I got a couple of pictures and stuff like that. Nothing special.
Okay.
I did do something that I wasn't expecting to do. And it's funny because people at Universal saw me with the Osmo, the Pocket. And this one guy goes to me, he's like, yo, is that a camera? That's a camera? What kind of camera is that? I'm like, it's a Pocket. He goes, what kind of Pocket is that? That's the name? I was like, yeah, it's called the Pocket, the Osmo Pocket. He goes, wow, who makes it? I said, DJI. He goes, the drone company? I was like, so yeah, DJI. Everybody knows who DJI, and they know that DJI makes drones. But a lot of people did not know that they make the Pocket. A lot of people stopped me at Universal. Is that a camera? Is that a camera? And I had it on one of those attractions that they have down in Universal.
Yeah.
So I haven't checked out the footage yet, but I want to see what it looks like.
Okay. Well, it took me finally long enough, but I have done it.
Okay.
I finally did it. I kind of trying to cross the numbers out there so no one can play it back and catch all the numbers, but I did it.
What is it?
Like I said,
it says you got 50-50.
I actually surprisingly got 2 wrong, and I was upset that I got them wrong because it was something basic. But you know what it was? I had mentioned to you I was on the phone. I'm trying to get off the phone, and I'm trying to take a time test at the same time.
Right.
But I did actually get 2 wrong out of all the questions. But you can't fail. There's 3 answers. You pick the wrong answer. It says retry. Retry. I guess the third one's got to be it. What's up, AZ Drone Dude? How are you?
After the third, does it have an arrow that comes out and points to the answer, please?
No. I purposely tried to click on the wrong answer to see if it would say, look here, dummy. That's the one. That's the answer there, dummy. But it didn't. No, it did not do that, unfortunately. But I'm glad you're back, man, because when you was way down there in Florida, I was like, yo, I need to talk to Herman about something. And I was like, he's spending time with family. Let me get some alcohol and just go to bed.
You could have called. It's funny, okay. Let me tell you what happened. My sister went down before I did. And she took my niece and nephews, my nephew and my other niece down with her. And
exactly, Marcel.
They They parked in the parking lot.
Right.
One,
Right. Right.
1 hour. 1 hour. Looking for
Looking for what?
It had to be the heat. It had to be the heat. I'm just gonna blame it on the heat. 1 hour in the parking lot
Hey, John Coopy, thanks.
looking for a black Nissan, and it was a silver Mazda.
It was a silver Mazda. What did you say it was?
They told me they had a black Nissan parked in the parking lot.
And for an hour, you were looking in the sun.
Not me. Them.
Oh, they were looking in the sun, and it was a silver Mazda.
Yeah.
He probably said, wow, let's see how long they stay out there in the sun looking.
And then they want to know why you mad. Okay, I just got off a flight, and you got me in the parking lot while you're looking for a black Nissan, and it's a silver Mazda. And then you're talking about, oh, there it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. After they saw you out there for an hour, nobody thought to leave their desk and come to you and say, hey,
Oh, no.
my bad.
No,
It's the silver one right there.
No. I'm saying to you, my sister parked her car at the airport.
Uh-huh.
A silver Mazda, and they went back to the
Joe.
parking lot looking for a black Nissan. It had to be the heat. Could
Wow.
have been anything else.
It's reasons like that that's the part of going on a trip that really pisses me more than crowds and lines and stuff like that. Little simple stuff like that.
Oh, well, see,
Really
talking
does.
about crowds and lines, sometimes you
Off the hook, huh?
gotta do what you gotta do. Being as that I got a cane. What's up, John Coopy? You know, I didn't say hello to everyone. How is everyone doing? Marcel.
Yes. Welsh, Rob. I've been trying to keep a chat with them.
Rob. What's good, Rob?
Rob. Welsh, Rob. We still want to buy that 2 foot by 2 foot square in your backyard so we could put a family crest on it. They were testing your endurance, Herman.
That's what it was.
That's what Stevie put.
I'm glad you said that, Stevie. When I got to the park, first thing I did was I went to what's that there? Park services, and you go.
You want to come in, Stevie?
I got my cane and I got me a scooter to ride around the park, and the express pass. So you know when they give you the express pass,
right?
They put everybody on your party on the express pass with you,
right?
So every ride that I wanted to ride, they got to ride.
Okay, and they got to go up front quickly.
Right. Anything I didn't want to ride, stand on that line for an hour.
Hey, Stevie, if you want to come in, I'll send you an invite, man. There's no pressing matters. It's going to be a light stream tonight. We may go squirrel more than usual, but that's nothing. That's nothing out of the norm.
I do have something drone related.
I know we do, but it's too early.
Package set.
It's only 8 minutes after. We have plenty of time to kill.
Now,
it's nice out.
Got the little box, Lawrence. Got the little box.
Yes, so I did take the trust test. Like I said, I got 2 questions wrong on it. And basically because I was having a deep conversation on the phone and I didn't want the person to call back. I wanted the conversation to end and just be out of the way. You know, I'm one of those people that would rather be aggravated now so I can relax later than to relax now and be aggravated later, if you understand what I mean. I'd rather just get the shit out of the way. You know.
See, Welsh Rob, your perception of things is kind of
a new box smell. Lawrence had everything covered on Sunday when you bailed on him, Irvin. Rob, stop starting shit, Rob.
Your perception is bad, Rob. But I got a little box here, Lawrence.
What's in the box, Herman? Yeah, it's got that new box smell. Yes, we got an opening here. While Herman does it, I don't have my complete setup to hit the button to do the drum rolls. I'm still.
What, the drum roll?
Yeah, did you know? It's not the drum roll while playing while you're opening. Herman got back from Florida, guys, and this was in front of his door. Drum roll. I don't want to ruin your speakers, but
Here we go. Here we go.
oh, looks like in that new card case. Marcel said, "I bet it's more boxes." And it see a Canadian maple leaf on there.
Now I'm going to explain that to you. Now, I've always gotten Nanook cases.
Right.
Now, for I'm not against GPC. GPC popped off, and Ken Herron is a nice guy, a good friend, and he promotes it. But I've always been a Nanook guy, and for you guys in Canada, you probably could get a better deal on these than you can. I'm not promoting them. I'm just saying you could probably get a better deal on these in Canada than you can on the GPC cases because these Nanook cases come from Canada.
Right.
It's your hometown product, so I figured you get a better deal on them. But
Canadian proud case. Thank you for supporting us, Marcel says. That's how you do it, Marcel. That's right. Ask Card Studios.
The Ear, the 2S.
Hello, Hugh.
You can also put the what do you call it in there? The smart controller goes in there.
There's a smart, right? That is a smart
spot here for the regular controller, and then the bird goes in here.
I see. Is that a tablet pocket on top?
Yes.
Okay,
well,
cool.
You put your stuff in there, but I don't know if it's a tablet cutout. If you wanted to put a tablet in there, you might be able to trim out some more of the foam.
Yeah.
And probably do that, but they intended for you to use the.
Joe says that's the best case. I got mine with the shoulder strap.
Okay.
Yeah. See. All right, and it holds 5 batteries. I see.
You got batteries here. Oh.
How are you, Hugh? Hope all is well. All right. So when am I gonna? So when am I gonna see this thing in action?
What, the case?
At the meetup on the 10th?
Well, you want to see it in action?
Hey Tom, what's good?
Okay, I guess it's in action now.
All right, that's what's up.
She fits right in there with one battery on her back and the propellers on her, so she fits in there.
Okay, all right. And if you didn't go through so much hell, I might invest in one, but I'm still trying to get my shit now from where it is.
What?
My FPV stuff.
Oh,
I like the case. I do like the case. What's up, Tom?
Is that a GPC?
Nope, Nanook.
Nanook. Okay, good.
Nanook with a Canadian sticker on it. Doesn't look like it would fit the Phantom though, Herman. Marcel says.
I have the same cases for the Phantom.
Yep. Yes, he does. With wheels.
It's a traveling road show.
Except that has wheels.
With the wheels. I have the 950 for both Phantom Pros and the 950 for the 3.
Hey, Johnny.
I only travel with wheels.
A major achievement for Herman. He says he wants to be able to show up at a meetup and have his camera crew film him getting out. And while someone carries his drones, you have another guy on him with a camera watching him do vlogging and stuff. So
what is he paying his football team to be his entourage?
So, but I'm saying, how else can I sign autographs and walk and carry stuff at the same time?
True.
Dude, did you pay for the carpet guys yet? So they can lay it out from the door right to the bench you're going to sit at and hold court at?
He's working on it.
So you June 10th participants, I'll be managing the line to Herman. Okay. And remember, it's 5 to Herman, 5 to me.
Right.
Lawrence still has to figure out his own gig. Okay. I still haven't gotten into the profit sharing plan. So He's got to figure out his own gig.
Listen, on that day,
No
I'm
name change, Marcel.
gonna have my safari my bucket hat on, and I'm just gonna be off in the corner somewhere.
Okay.
Gone fishing.
You going fishing? Yo,
Yeah,
today,
it's official.
man.
It's official. I
By the
have
way, guys, I want to let you know
Pop hat. Now
that
this will do just good.
I have purchased the air rights above the Yellow Submarine. Therefore,
Are you
anybody
renting that space, Tom?
that wants to film the Yellow Submarine, just make sure you make the appointment with me on site that morning. Okay. I got to make sure we don't have any collisions in the SBS, of course, then my insurance
Yes.
rates go up. So
You see what Marcel Roberts put? He said, all of those cases, you should get me to build a droid to carry them for you with the follow me feature. Because you know he did a full-size scale R2D2
You know what?
that he printed out.
I have an idea
Maybe a cooler inside.
for
I have an idea too.
R2D2.
I think we scrap some of the parts from his knee scooter, and we can start the build from there. Okay.
To build what?
I'll build you something, a conveyance,
Something with a follow me feature.
a conveyance droid to carry
Right.
your
You know how they have the luggage that follows you in the airport?
See, here's the difference, guys. I went ahead and I bought a case that already has wheels on it. Not just 2 wheels, but 4 wheels. So I can effortlessly glide it around. Okay. I look, yeah, I'm not going to be a creature of burden anymore.
You know what?
And that's why I'm saying if the path to the meet is paved, I'll be there. Okay.
You know what? I'm starting to feel like that, Tom, because the last time I took my FPV bird out, it felt like I was carrying a small child. And
yeah, no. By the time you get done with all this crap,
small children on my back, they need to walk themselves. They got to walk them damn selves. Seriously.
there's only a thing I own today that doesn't have wheels attached to it.
Hey,
Okay,
Johnny,
please.
We're good, Johnny. We're good, man.
What's up,
Thank
Johnny?
you for standing in with us on
Thank God.
Sunday.
Well, Rob, how are you? Well,
Hey, Johnny, I'm back.
back in the thing.
Matt, what's good,
Just
man?
strapped him to a large RC car and give her. Hey, Matt, how are you,
Thought
man?
about it.
I hope
So,
all
Matt.
is well on your end. Where did you guys meet up at, Matt? I saw a picture with you, Matt, John. I guess that was Florida, duh. I saw
Thought that was last year's meet.
Captain Ray Kelly was back down there.
I think that was from last year, wasn't it?
Oh, I don't know. That's
Was
what I'm
it?
inquiring. I didn't know anything about
from
it.
the last meeting.
Yeah, I think
thought it was
think
last week.
Johnny, correct me
That
if I'm
was earlier
wrong.
this year.
Ray was going down again on Thursday, but he was going down for something specific, I thought. So and so we got the July 10th coming up.
Yes, July 10th is coming up. For
And then
those
we
of
got
you
July
can't
30, July
There will be
31st,
more.
8 a.m. up in Collier Point Park, up in Providence, Rhode Island.
Yes, which by the way, those guys will be attending. I saw
Well, this guy will be attending.
flyer. I saw a flyer for it. I forget what Facebook page, but it was funny because it shows Billy Kyle, Ken Dono. Okay. Billy Kyle, Ken Dono, and a bunch of other people, right? So I put in the comments, those guys will be there too. So whoever created the post said, yes, all of those guys will be there. I'm like, no, those guys. Then he goes on to say, what are you talking about? Those Billy Kyle. And I said, no, me and Herman, damn it. I said, where are those guys? He
You
goes,
already had
"Oh,
me on there.
yeah, see?
That wasn't me. That wasn't me.
See?
Right. I took offense to what he had on there.
Well, you want to know what? It's, hey, Drone Shots, it's being
FDNY
advertised.
hero, not. My heroes are all
Eddie
dead.
Nunez was on the list. There's a bunch
Yeah,
of people.
Eddie, myself.
And I'm like, what are we,
Billy.
top liver?
Okay.
Well, you didn't make a commitment. What are you doing? What are you flying on the wings of birds? You going or you're not going? You
I'm
going
going.
up there?
We're going. We're going.
Good
We're gonna
deal,
be there.
man. Good.
We're gonna freaking be there.
Yeah, we're gonna go up on Friday,
Okay.
Okay.
and then we're coming back on Monday.
We
Okay.
need to find a hotel over there somewhere. Well, Herman's gonna do some research, and then we will definitely
Unless
be
you
there.
know of a place.
Yes.
There's a lot of accommodations up there. Just watch your pricing. It's all over the place up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was looking.
I know they're doing a shoot 8 a.m. In Collier Point Park. Okay.
Right. And then they're having an
but
evening
then
flight.
the sunset is down in where was it listed? Did anybody have a pamphlet? I think in Newport, Rhode Island. So that's further south. Okay, so your best bet is to, I guess, try to find something in between. You know,
Yeah.
there's we figure we're going to take a leisurely stroll along the Connecticut coast on Friday, and then we're taking the wives up.
Okay.
Okay.
And then we're going to be bouncing around from there.
Well, I would be just glad to fly.
This is being run by Mark Fisher.
Yes, yes. He created the post. I don't even know what group that post was in. I'm trying to find it right now as we speak on Facebook, but
And he
not,
said, the more the merrier, all are welcome.
I'm not too organized today.
You sent me a link.
Yeah, I
Oh,
thought I sent it to you.
Right, I sent it to Herman.
Yeah, look for the
Hold
link
on.
you
Yeah,
sent
let
me,
me look
Lars.
at Herman's name, and I'll find it right here. Here it is.
You got it?
Yes, I got it. I will pull it up in a second right here. Let me just share. Herman, you got to enable sharing.
Oh, really? It
Yes,
works
sir.
best that way.
I have
don't
it right. I have the flyer right here set up. Here we go. This is it by Mark Fisher. This will be an awesome day of meeting drone pilots from all over New England and other states. There will be a giveaway and special guests like Billy Kyle, as seen on YouTube, Eddie Nunez, the Fortune 500 drone master, LOL, Captain Ray Kelly from NYC, South Florida drone meetup organizer, Tom Dowling, owner of Lens Capture from New York City, also FD NY hero, Ken Dono, all the way from Florida, also YouTube star, and many more great drone pilots. Please contact me if you can make this trip to Rhode Island. Happy flying, be blessed. And this is the flyer right here, which I thought was he did a really nice job on
I
it.
got to tell.
The 8 o'clock meetup. If this is
That's at Collier Point Park.
if this is Collier Point, I think I need to buy some more 2S batteries, because those windmills in the background, hell of a hyperlapse. I'm looking at the picture here, and it says, wait a minute, it says no drone down. Collier Point, Providence, Rhode Island. Enjoy the flying, and get charged for the sunset flight in Newport, Rhode Island. Yes, it does say Newport, Rhode Island there.
Okay. Sounds like fun.
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, all are invited to that. That's on Saturday, July 31st.
Yeah, Rob, I think you might have to be on standby. He's got jokes.
Here we go.
Rob says, Lawrence, do you want me to be on standby already in case Herman bails again?
Oh,
Bales.
No, but we're going up there.
You're going to be with me. So that
Rob,
means that he's going to do the show?
We're actually going up there together, Rob.
what's up, Stevie?
What's good,
What's
Stevie?
going on? What's going on?
Stevie, you getting prepared
Stevie, are you
for
going
the
to be
weekend Subway series there with my Red Hot Mets there, bro? Ready?
there?
You and Ray Kelly will be cheering on.
Yeah.
Only you and Ray Kelly.
Eddie's going to the game tonight. I
He's
told him.
only you and Ray
I
Kelly.
told Eddie.
Dude,
I told
dude.
Eddie. I hope they can sweep the Angels so they don't lose too much ground when they face my Red Hot Mets. Okay.
Oh
You
man.
know what's funny?
What
Yankees-
happened?
Don't worry. The Mets
Yankees have
usually tank at the end of the season.
yeah,
Don't worry.
we know.
It's right
We know
right
that
before the
they're
playoffs.
red
Will.
hot up until
Yeah,
the
yeah,
All-Star break.
yeah. Until we no longer control our own destiny. That's the
You
story
know,
of the Mets.
It's
Okay.
funny. That's the New York sports team's history.
No,
They're
that's the Mets.
hot.
history.
No,
Till-
no, dude, no. Sorry,
till they
you
hear the
can't
word
claim that
playoff.
from me. That's
But-
my Mets.
but
Okay.
but Lawrence, it's
And
funny,
remember, I got to wait 40 years for a Stanley Cup.
Stevie.
Okay.
Yo,
And I can probably see a World Series once every 2 decades.
The funny thing about Mets fans, right? And the Yankees have a history that they've stopped counting on whooping the Mets' ass. The Mets can win either a spring training game against the Yankees or a regular season game against the Yankees. And they will talk about it for the 4 seasons that they ain't did shit.
Absolutely, Herman. Absolutely. Because what else do we have to talk about, Herman? Okay? Come on. I can't be a Yankees fan, even though my wife is, because I was raised by a Brooklyn Dodgers father. Okay?
Oh, okay. So they never forgave the
Not
Dodgers
even,
in New York.
dude, I'm so freaking old.
Well, the
I saw
Dodgers
my
didn't
first-
leave New York. The Dodgers had to leave New York.
Well, look, let me explain something, Herman. I'm so old. I saw my first Mets game. Okay? Where? At the Polo
Wow.
Grounds.
Okay.
Okay. My father
First
actually
season,
saw
my
games
father
there,
took
too.
me to a game.
Matt,
I was a
what's
little
good?
guy.
No,
But-
there's no Mets bashing. Phantom Hodges, how are you, man? Hope all is well.
Oh,
man.
absolutely no Mets bashing.
There's
Come on,
no
man.
Mets bashing. There's no Mets bashing because I remember
All right,
so
there's
I have
3
some
fans.
very fond memories of sitting in my grandfather's lap while he had a filterless Chesterfield in this hand and a Schaefer beer in this one.
Chesterfield Kings,
Well,
bro.
you know what's
Mets.
funny? My first
He
Yankee
lived forever
game that I
too
ever
because
went
there were no
to,
filters on those cigarettes.
Yeah,
first Yankee game
That's
I
what my
ever
probably
father
went
said.
to
The
was at-
filters is what
probably
killed
why I have
people.
COPD now.
Well, it's the
Remember,
filters that kill people.
blame the Mets.
The first Yankee
Just
game
blame
I
the
ever
Mets.
went to was at Shea Stadium.
You're funny, CV.
So we got 3 fans so
When
far.
they were renovating Shea Stadium, or not Yankee Stadium, when they were renovating Yankee Stadium and the Yankees played their games over at Shea Stadium, first Yankee game I ever went to. That day. Yankee game at Shea Stadium.
See, I never understood, man. I guess because I worked in the field, I never understood bat day at Yankee Stadium. Okay?
Why?
Never a good thing, bro. Never a
Why?
good thing. Bat day. There wasn't no problem in the stadium. It was after the game.
Okay,
Remember,
Big
I worked the
Mac.
streets of the South Bronx. Those night games, that night giveaway,
No,
that
you
took
don't
on a
do
whole
that in
new
the night.
meaning
No,
on
you
that
do it.
midnight
You do it
tour.
on a cool
Okay.
day during the day, cool on a day during the daytime.
Yeah, when they're get back on the train and go home.
You
Okay,
don't
no.
want to do it on a hot day or a night game during or like on the weekend. Nah, you don't want that. You want it during
Hot weeknight, like
No.
one of these nights. No.
Yeah, the day you want to go to Yankee Stadium is on Bulletproof Vest Day. Those are the
Yeah.
safest day.
Yeah, that's 3
You
times
get
a
your
year.
vest and then you get on
Yeah.
the train.
Yeah,
You
that's
know
3
what?
times a year.
Truthfully speaking, that neighborhood has gotten to come up.
No, please, that's all
Really,
commercialized now.
It's real nice over there now. Yeah, with
You got the
even
whole
with Nike
mall over there and
stepping in,
everything now.
even with Nike stepping in and making everybody an authorized distributor. If you want to sell Yankee shirts, these are the shirts you got to sell.
Yeah.
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 You heard
They
about
kinda-
that one, Lawrence?
They took
All
over.
those stores around there used to sell Yankee shirts, and when Yankee
I
got
remember.
deal with Nike, Nike was like, "What the hell is going on here with all these people
Licensing,
selling
baby.
shirts?" So they made everybody authorized distributor,
And if it's not Nike,
and now
it's
they got to sell the Nike.
bootleg. It's considered bootleg if it's not Nike for some reason.
Yeah, but you can get shut down big. All your inventory taken. Even the
Mhm.
legitimate inventory gets taken when you're selling bootleg.
Yep.
They just sweep it all up, man. So, yeah, I used to work that neighborhood. I worked from 161st Street up to Fordham. From the
Mhm.
Major D over to Southern was my area of coverage
Okay. Oh.
on the midnights. Yeah, nice
Did you have
area.
to go the other side of the water too? Just the
Occasionally,
Bronx? Oh, okay.
no, occasionally, up in the upper
Washington
200s.
Yeah.
Those days you had Inwood Hospital and all, but our main shopping area was Lincoln Hospital for trauma. So
Yeah.
So Stevie,
used to
what's
keep
good,
us
man?
used to keep us buzzing up there.
Yeah.
I worked out of White House over there on Ogden Avenue.
Okay.
Okay, that was always a fun spot, especially like man, hip hop and rap at night. The parks were lit up. The Ogden houses right there, it lit up. Okay.
You were in there with the Budweiser?
Dude, not on duty, bro. Never on duty.
What-
I'm
what
getting
you got
ready to
off?
file
What
those
you got
pension
off,
papers.
bro?
Don't be
At night.
screwing with me, bro.
Go in the park, bro.
I got continuous service. Don't be screwing with me.
Word
Okay.
on the street, you used to do head spins over there in the park on a piece of cardboard.
No, bro. You had to have
Used to,
some
like,
lino.
Hold,
You know you
my
had to have.
Budweiser. Hold
you
my
had to
beer.
bring your
Hold
own
my
square
beer. I
with
want
you.
some of this.
You had to bring your own square of linoleum, man. You know
Somehow
that.
this is
Come on.
coming full circle right back to Lawrence somehow.
Look, Lawrence is lost. He's reading something. He's reading something.
I'm
No,
not.
we talk
I'm-
about breakdancing, bro. You gonna jump in this?
Nope.
You gonna talk about your windmill
You
dance?
telling me you never?
I'm ignoring all of you.
You know, it's funny if you go back to the earlier live streams.
Yeah.
There was all kinds of talk about Lawrence breakdance.
No kidding, huh?
Paul
So it's in
started.
the archives.
Paul started that shit.
Yeah.
where Lawrence
You
used
had
to
a
be out there
Hey,
with
Gary,
a
what's up, man?
cardboard and-
you had a
Listen.
jam sport with a fold up cardboard box in there. You should
Listen.
pull it out. You had your own cardboard.
We were balling in Queens. We had linoleum.
Lawrence still don't know how to act if you turn on Rapture.
Yeah, never,
Oh,
man. What's up, Brant Ariels? How the hell is everybody? And has anyone got a chance to fly? Because it's too damn hot to fly in New York.
Oh, hell
these
no.
last
I'm
3
not
or 4
going out
days.
there.
Johnny, drone flyer.
I'm not going out there. I told you
Exactly,
when I walked out there, when I
Matt,
walked through the doors of the airport, I wanted to run back in.
hold on a second. Matt, picture me 6'3" breakdancing. Not good.
I know everybody had to stay clear.
Now everybody step back.
No, those
Step
big
back like
langly
6
legs, yeah.
6
Yeah,
feet
with a
man.
6-foot wingspan, right?
You know what that's called?
doing windmills.
They
Crowd
they
control.
actually named something after him called the helicopter.
Yeah, see? The
He was
6
doing
foot.
that upside down RC helicopter move.
You had 3-year-olds
Okay.
holding onto your ankles because you caught them halfway, hanging off for dear life, waiting for you to go into the head spin.
See, that's
know,
why
that-
he's so good with
Welsh
the
Rob said he'd
compass.
love to see me
No.
do a windmill.
Do you understand
Rob,
that's
if-
why Lawrence is so good at the compass calibration?
But
With
yeah,
Mavics?
for real,
Okay.
Welsh Rob,
doing
if
that
I could
spin.
do a windmill, I would make Guinness Book World Record.
You gotta get Herman to get the Air 2S above, so we get that top down shot, and then you go into the windmill. Forget it. That's a million hits right there.
I don't know if I might
Yeah,
I might
and
have
I
to get
need-
too high
I-
for you to catch both feet. As you won't know who it is.
Well, Rob,
Hey,
The camera
Stevie,
angle's not wide enough.
Stevie, could you imagine? Doing a helicopter and knocking the people down in the crowd?
you're just opening up the crowd, bro, making a
Dude,
way.
they're just too
Well,
close.
that'd be easier. It's
Okay.
easier to make money that way, Lawrence, because now that they're all knocked out, you just go in their pocket and take some money.
Damn, look, he went into the 80s for real.
Wow. Wow.
He went into the 80s for real. You don't need this and you don't need that. And
Uh-huh.
your shoes look like they fit me. What else you got here?
Even if they don't.
Hey, Phantom Hodges, what's good, man?
Yeah, right? Could you imagine?
Oh, shoot. That's
Leave
hilarious.
in the crowd.
It's okay. Yeah, that's one
Well,
thing.
they
you-
might mistake that with the
in an
first.
alternate universe.
You could get
I'm
credit
one of
for the first mosh pit that way too.
Hey,
you know
Tom,
that, right?
in an alternate universe, I'm one of the baddest breakdancers out there. But in this universe, nah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, right. If you watch
That all
Loki,
started with a conversation about the New York
the
Yankees. See where we
TVA,
go
if
with
you
this
watch-
stuff?
the series Loki, you'd know who the TVA is, and they're not allowing me to do any breakdancing in any platforms or dimensions.
Johnny
just
Drone
saying.
Flyer says he dances like Elaine on Seinfeld. One of my most favorite episodes, by the
You
way.
see what Big Matt put? If
The
I
dry
did a
heap
windmill
set
on
to
my house
music?
now, I
Yeah.
break
Yeah.
everything.
What's up, Chris?
Jackson, what's up,
Rossi.
Chris? How are you, Chris?
What's up, Chris?
What's good, man?
Yeah, of course, Big Matt, you'd break everything in your house with a windmill. What are you, freaking 9.5 feet
Do it
tall?
outside.
If he
You gotta
did
do
it
it outside with his
he'd break
woo.
everything.
Got those extra raised door jams in that house.
Well, I'm glad you're back, Herman, safely. You had a
Welcome
good trip
back.
down. And
Did you have a
got-
good time though?
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
for the most part. I had to go out for coffee because we had what those Airbnb whatever the hell that is. Them women set the
Airbnb?
whole thing up. Yeah, I don't even know what the hell it's called. But they had a coffee maker there, and I just didn't have the coffee to do it, so I just went out for coffee every day.
They had you moving.
So great excuse to go out
No,
and hunt.
I left and went for coffee because they don't move. So I gotta get up in the morning and I get going.
Did you get to fly? Did you fly?
No, because I was with the family going to the park.
Oh,
And then
Oh,
they got that bubble over there by Disney, that big red.
yeah, you can't fly anywhere over there.
Listen, you pull out your drone, it climbs back in the bag at Disney.
Yeah.
You can't. There's
How
no
are you,
place.
Jackson RC?
yeah. Orlando's tough.
Orlando's
I had to-
Orlando's a real problem.
I had to get
I
out of
wanted
Orlando
to
fly.
meet up with Dobo, but
He's in Tampa, right? Like in the border.
while we were looking for the black Nissan in the parking lot, he hit me up and said he was headed back to Tampa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, mistaken
Did you
ID
hear
on the
Steve?
car.
You hear, Stevie? That was the joke of the day. They told
1
him
hour looking for a black Nissan,
a black Nissan
and
just
it was a silver Mazda.
That part. I was
How
looking
hot could it have been for you to walk out of a car? And that's not even the whole thing. The car is on the 3rd level of the parking lot. No, it's not, because there's no black Nissans that this key opens. And when I took the key from them, I'm like, this car is not a Nissan, it's a Mazda you're looking for. They're like, okay, it's a black Mazda. So I'm going around the parking lot looking for a black Mazda. I go,
wow.
come on here, take the key, you guys go find it. It was down on the 1st level, a silver Mazda.
Wow. And also, didn't you to mention to me, Herman, also that particular car slit your hand and you're like bleeding and shit?
Oh no, that was on the Toyota.
Oh.
Something was wrong with the steering wheel. Sliced me right
A
open.
cheap wrap if they don't wrap the steering wheel right. You know, that vinyl
A
or
little
whatever
fake
it is
chrome
they
thing
use.
on the steering wheel.
Yeah.
So when you got to the rental place, did they just tell you to go over there and you could pick a car in that row,
Mm-hmm.
or they told you they told you, oh, pick this one
specific
car?
car?
Yeah,
You could take anything that was in that specific row.
that's what they told me. They were like, you just go to this row and pick a
Mhm.
car, because this is after COVID, obviously. Before it was like
Right.
it was a big process. It was so
My
annoying.
sister came to the airport to meet me in this silver Mazda
Oh, you had to. Oh, okay,
Inside
that's what it was.
and
Oh,
told
okay, I
me
got it
it
now.
was a black Nissan. I'm like,
So you're searching
Oh,
for
so
your
they
ride
told
in
you
a
the
different
car.
car.
Yeah.
Right.
I had a
Exactly.
different
For an
experience.
hour in the sun while they're in the office on the cameras going, how long is he going to be out there before he realizes it ain't there?
Hey, Paul H.
JSK,
I had a different
look, man.
experience. Yeah, Alamo. I had a different experience, and it was the best experience I ever had renting a car. Because usually it's a pain. Because before you get out to any location, they make it seem like it's going to be so smooth in and out. But then they like, oh, your Geico doesn't cover this, so you're gonna have to get our insurance just in case something happens. They always try to get all these little loopholes, and I'm
Get that
like,
extra
bro,
money.
yeah. They got all these things. Like when you on the phone making the reservation, everything's smooth. You lock in the dates and everything, and all right, boom, you get there, and you're going to pick up the car becomes a process. But when I went to Florida in April, was it April? Yeah. Smoothest process because it was still mid-COVID situation and stuff. So nobody wanted to be near each other. So it was like, go over there and you pick any car there. I was like, okay. And there was a lot of options. Like they would have like full size, I got like a bigger size car, but they even had vans in there. And I was like, a van. I remember vans being much more expensive, you know what I mean, than the car.
Right.
But it was in the same row. So I took a van. I had the whole family. And
Who was that with,
chilling.
Stevie?
Huh?
What company?
Alamo.
Okay, good. I used to go through Hertz all the time for
it was
everything.
horrible.
Yeah, I've done them
But
all.
Hertz, had the President's Club, and just anywhere you come down, you see your name on a board, and it says row X.
Right.
Anything in that row, right?
Right.
But this past time, I went with this company called Sixt, SIXT. I highly recommend them, by the way. I rented a Toyota Tacoma pickup truck because I was going to be there for 6 weeks. It's a 6-week rental is a nice piece of change. I went to Hertz, and I wanted the pickup truck because I wanted to go out in the wilderness a little more. I needed a high clearance 4-wheel drive vehicle.
Hey, Angie.
And they wound up quoting me
Andrew.
$4,400.
Wow.
Okay. So I saw this company several times when we went to Vegas, because Vegas has a rental terminal. You get on the shuttle at the airport, they bring you now to a rental terminal. All the big companies are in the rental terminal. It's great. But this company was just down the road. But now when we came this time, this company's inside that rental terminal. I rented the vehicle for the same length of period that they quoted me $4,400 for. It was $1,700.
Look at that.
Wow.
Okay. Now, mind you, that's 42 days.
That's a dramatic
okay,
difference.
so that's not bad. And we beat the piss out of that vehicle. Okay.
Going on.
But they were excellent. I brought the vehicle back the second day because I noticed the tonneau cover had some damage to it, and I didn't want to be held responsible. So I came back the next day, and they were like, "Oh no problem. Look, we have it on your electronic receipt. We noted that damage already." They were excellent. So I highly recommend them. SIXT. Like you said, they rent out 15 passenger vans now, which used to be such a hard way to go to get one.
I remember
now
having
it's
to
not
get
bad.
a van in the past because we were
depending
rolling.
on what class of vehicle that you rent now, they just throw all of the vehicles of that same similar size into the package.
Right. Well, like,
And
you know,
there's
if you were
some
getting
that are
like
slightly smaller and some a little bigger.
yeah, if you were getting like a 4-door, what they consider like a more larger car, like a Camry would be on that list. That wouldn't be the same as a van. You know what I'm saying? And I think I had like a Chrysler 4-door that I was supposed to pick up, like a bigger car, you know, because we were moving, you know, we had the whole family with the kids and everything. But they on that same road, they had minivans. I was like, I'm not gonna take a car when I have a minivan in here. Like that's you know, I could throw stuff in the back.
More leg room, more comfort.
Yeah, the kids were comfortable, and you know, when you're out of town, you buying stuff that you didn't think you were gonna buy. You're throwing stuff around. You know, you got the space, and I got the drones. You know, we could eat when we're on the run, and everybody's comfortable. It was great. It was a great experience. Honestly, that trip, because of the way things were at the time, everything was so much smoother. You know, I love the fact that people just stay away from me. Yeah, stay 6 feet. That's great. I hope that stays forever. You know what I mean? I think that's one of the things I wish they keep, because I hate when I'm like at the supermarket or Walmart.
People right on top of you.
People are like almost taking off my shoes. Like, why?
Yeah, people don't recognize personal space.
Yeah, why? There's so much space
anymore now.
Yeah, let's keep the 6 feet.
That was gone. Personal space.
That's because you don't know how to handle a situation. Do like I used to do.
No, Lawrence.
Lawrence
everywhere. Nobody's wearing a mask.
Lawrence to start breakdancing and start doing windmills, and they get back online. He'll get more than 6 feet.
No, but what I did do at one time, a guy kept getting too close to me as I was waiting online to get into a store. And I said, "Sir, if you don't stand back, I will be forced to punch you."
Damn.
Far. He stood back extra far. The lady behind him was like, "Sir, you can move up." He's like, "No, I'm good." He's like, "I'm okay."
Man, you can move to the Bronx with that type of attitude. you fit in like a glove.
We'll beat people up.
Thanks a lot, Stevie.
No, Stevie wouldn't. No, up in the Bronx, you punch first, then say I'm gonna punch you.
Yeah. Punch him and then be like, "Yo, I told you to fall back."
I told you.
Like, why I didn't even hear nothing, bro?
What is that? Protected by Viper. Stand back.
Yeah, exactly.
You poking eyes out, Lawrence? In the
No, I did tell a guy. He was I wouldn't have said anything, but he was blowing his nose and I was like, "Listen, dude, if you don't get back, I'm gonna punch you."
You know, it's funny.
I didn't mean to say that, but it came out, and he respected it. He stood back and he stayed away.
People coughed and sneezed every day before COVID.
Listen, when COVID was,
and now anytime you cough and sneeze, or he got COVID.
When was the last time you got a cold?
Listen, every time now, if you go somewhere, somebody coughs, the world stops and looks.
Well,
it's a good way to get.
I'd ask you, when was the last time you had a cold? It's been a while.
6 feet.
That's just it.
Well, here's the thing. The Asian community for years has been wearing masks, but we've seen it as
SARS.
what's wrong with those people, right? Okay. And what it really is they were being considerate and societal responsibility and turning around and going, I'm not feeling well, so I'm going to put on a mask to protect everybody
Right.
else. Now, if we could only have that carry through, we'd all be a lot healthier for a lot
Got
longer,
some
right?
people
But
sick as a
hey,
dog coming to
Tom,
work.
it's real, Tom,
this
it's
is the
real hard.
United States. Everybody has their rights to be their own person, regardless of the harm to societal good. So have at it.
Nah,
I'm
my-
sorry, am I being
I-
cynical
you know
again?
what?
I
Sorry
can't
about
put a
that.
mask on outside in this.
What'd you say,
90-something
Herman?
degree weather. I
It
can't
is
put a
it is
mask
what
on.
it is when it comes to that stuff. All I'm saying is if you have the space and it's not an emergency, you don't have to be
No, you're
On
right.
top of
1
me?
inch behind me, bro. Like back
No.
up. You know what
I
I'm saying?
definitely,
Like,
I've definitely
Listen,
turned to
before
people and I've
COVID,
said,
before COVID, I didn't want you too damn close to me. So
that's
imagine
what I'm
that.
No.
saying. This
I
is
agree with you.
This has
Stevie,
nothing to
with
do
that-
with COVID. This has nothing to do with
No.
COVID. I don't
But
understand why
before COVID, I've
Now
turned to
you got to
people and
ride
I've
that
said
COVID
stuff
out,
too.
man. Anytime
Not the
somebody
same
gets too
stuff
close
as
to you,
Lawrence, though.
somebody get too close to you in the line, Stevie, you got to ride that COVID stuff out. You just like, as you turn to them and watch them move.
yeah.
Then you're like, oh, okay.
No, but I'm telling you, the traveling experience during this whole mess was
Yeah.
great.
I loved
Great.
having an
Because
entire row.
everything was processed
airplane.
ahead of time, and you show an ID, and nobody wanted to be near you, and I didn't want to be near any of them. So it was just like I just coasted through the airport, got my car, coasted out of there,
That's
got
all
to the
out the
hotel.
window, man.
Nobody wanted to be near us, so it was like great. We coming in from New York, especially they're falling. They beyond 6 feet. I'm like, great, yeah, fall back.
That's
wanna get
all
to
out
my
the
room.
window now.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, all
the
bets are
airplanes
off
were half
now.
empty for the most part.
When I was on the plane going down, it was packed. Plane coming up.
Oh
was
no,
packed.
things are back to normal now.
It's all.
The city is
You just got to
gridlocked.
wear a mask on the plane and in the airport. Other than that,
Yeah.
everything's back to
Yeah,
normal.
I had to tell my staff that masks are optional if they're immunized. Now they no longer have to socially distance, which has been very good for me. There's been less, in my adult daycare center I run during the day.
Adult
There's been less fights over milk
Old work,
money and snacks and nap blankets, So, but now I told them all bets
What
are
about
off.
the
You
cots?
can take off your mask as long as you're immunized, and they do have to provide proof of immunization.
Hold on 1 second, guys.
Delivery drones are going back to requiring a signature. Could you imagine?
Yeah, right. Delivery drivers have had it. I mean, they worked through this entire thing, man. They toss
yeah,
you
you
your
know what?
packages from 6 feet away.
Hey, Blades.
They told me that my drone required a signature. The guy rang the bell. I heard, "Doop,"
And off he was, and
halfway
there it
down
was
the
sitting on the
steps.
stoop. Yeah.
He was halfway down the step when I opened
Sorry
the door.
about that.
I'm like,
Listen,
thank. And the
I
box
just
says,
I opened the
has the
door the
tape
other
on it.
day, expecting a package. I opened the door the other day. I heard it hit the ground, and I got up to start walking to the door, and I heard knock, knock. I opened the door to pick up the package and said, "Thank you very much." I heard the downstairs door slamming. Dude was out. He was out. He didn't even wait. He just dropped the package, knocked on the door.
Here's something I got to say to you. God bless them. Imagine a pandemic without Amazon.
Oh,
Okay, that's all I'm saying.
oh yeah.
You know what?
Without
Stuff,
deliveries,
alcohol.
without
I
takeout.
agree with
Forget
you.
about takeout.
Amazon
Delivery.
got me through the COVID. Seriously, as far as medication and stuff I needed.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, Copper
what?
State.
Parrot released an ANAFI AI, a 4G enterprise drone. So drone manufacturer Parrot has just announced a new Parrot ANAFI AI.
Yes.
It says to have a number of interesting features, but the most compelling feature of it is the fact that it, the way it uses a 4G network, and allows it to be able to fly beyond visual line of sight whenever there's a 4G network. Now,
I'm-
this release of the Parrot ANAFI AI happens to be 1 year from the time they released the ANAFI US or the USA version of the ANAFI. That's I guess on the supposed I guess when they all those companies on those that blue US blue US list there.
right.
So this is that new Parrot ANAFI. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it.
I'm showing the video
That's
now
it
where you're
there.
talking, and I'm actually going back to the beginning of the video because they actually show the ANAFI,
It looks sort of like a bug.
the body of a praying mantis. And I just thought it was interesting that they compared it to a bug.
Yeah, I like
Also,
the way it folds like that.
one of the specs says that this bird can look backwards because of the camera configuration. I pause it right here. If you look in the upper right-hand corner, supposedly this entire gimbal, which also has motion detection, moves.
Right.
This is all motorized here, the motion detection and this camera here, which will allow it to look down and backwards. How? I don't know. I haven't seen it. This is the only video that I was able to acquire. There are not a whole lot of videos out there. And this is actually a video from someone else's page who got the video.
Okay.
Okay, but they claim it looks like some kind of strange space age bug. This is basically the configuration of it.
Interesting, isn't it?
Okay, but they put a lot of work into this gimbal, and I'm going to say one thing that I've noticed, and before you go on with the story, Herman, and we get into specs and stuff, you see this piece right here
Well, if you
below
want to
the
talk
actual
about
camera?
specs, go ahead.
If you see this piece actually below the camera here, I really think it looks really fragile. And that's just me personal. If this camera takes a nose hit, that camera and gimbal system is going.
Well, I think
But-
that's most drones.
But the
Well, that
good
one
thing about this
protrudes a lot
camera
more.
is also it will be an open source drone. It has an open source SDK that you can add software to, et cetera. Let me get rid of that. Software to and stuff like that. So let's see where it goes. Another issue that I have is that it's on a 4G network. Now,
Right.
most 9 out of 10 cell phone towers do and can downgrade to 4G because not everyone has upgraded to 5G yet. Okay, but
Right.
the fact that it's on a 4G
okay, go ahead.
network,
Go ahead.
the fact that it's on a 4G network bothers me.
And
Because,
why is that?
Well,
because it's
You understand? Okay, let's stop here. Mesh networks, 4G, leave it at that. It's an entirety of a network you can now leverage.
yeah, now, yeah.
There's no degradation in the 4G environment. 5G is a layer of technology above that. It doesn't deprecate 4G. 4G is going to be used for a long time coming.
oh yeah.
Okay. There's nothing bad about it. The 5G is bullshit, by the way. You got a 5G on your phone. Good luck that you actually think you have 5G service. You do not.
Oh, I
Okay.
know. It's actually 4G super light.
It's just 4G. It's just 4G.
4G.
There's no extra strawberry flavor to this or that. It's 4G. It's 4G technology.
No,
And
4.1.
guys, it's fourth generation technology. That's all.
Right.
Okay. So now we have 5G. 5G is going to carve out different spectrums of the frequency, provide a lot more bandwidth because it can segment those
It's a lot more
those portions
secure,
of the
et cetera,
frequency.
et cetera.
carry more traffic. It's a super highway, all of that. You can get more speed out of it because you can have more capacity to it. And you can have a lot of back office operations travel over it as well, which is called the maintenance network of that. Okay. So, but this being able to use 4G is exactly what the industry is moving towards.
Most people
Because
are.
remember, the industry is moving towards autonomous, okay, and AR, that AI, remember, Lawrence, we talked about
And the
that
fact
AI,
that they can
AR
leverage it.
environment, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's basically what it is being able to use this and have these devices travel across highways. And these highways will be managed by
Hey,
these
Fly
mesh
Guy
networks.
Merrill, area landscape.
Yeah, they'll be managed by these mesh networks now. So don't think of 4G as a downgrade, that they're adopting old technology. In
No.
fact, they're not. They're actually leveraging the technology in a
Right,
new
exactly.
way.
It's
Yeah,
just that,
yeah.
well, maybe my problem is with today's
No,
technology,
it's
Tom.
perception. That's all. But
Right.
it's a perception
It's
everybody,
perception. Yeah, you're
most
right,
people
Doug.
have, Lawrence. Is
Yeah,
that the 5G
yeah.
network is the cure-all, and there'll be a 6G
Hey,
network.
Metro drones, happy hump day.
Yeah, all you're getting is a little bit of speed. That's it.
Well, you're getting, you know what you're
That's
getting.
what
A
anything.
little bit of speed.
You basically now you got a pipe. Remember, you got
That's true.
some greenfield, right? And
Happy hump
you
day, man.
size the greenfield
Mhm.
on how many conductors you're going to pass and at what gauge you're going
Mhm.
to pass those conductors through that greenfield. Well, the same thing here. Okay, it's just like a fire hose. Okay, when you're using a slow network, it's like getting information through a garden hose. When I had to tell, fire chiefs about technology, I would have to use the analogy with the fire hose. Otherwise, they wouldn't get it. Why do I need a bigger network? Why do I need to spend more money on IT and infrastructure? Because I wanted to take them from a 3/4-inch garden hose, okay, to at least
Right.
a 3-inch satellite hose that I can move a hell of a lot more water and a hell of a lot at a
Right.
higher pressure.
Understandable.
And that's what you're
Same
doing
thing.
here with 5G. You're able to segment that, what used to be this pipe, into a whole series of pipes that can
Right.
carry that data. Okay.
But like what Tom was saying, Lawrence, what Parrot is doing, they're being able to give you this technology and leverage the 4G network to do
Yeah.
it where it hasn't been done before.
Well, those zones that were being set up, right? Those like upstate,
Mhm.
the drone zones that were set up. That's what they were doing, actually. They were setting up these environments and then operating these commodities across that environment.
Right.
And that's what it is to get, you know what? It's going to take a little more time, but you can see it's even being released at the retail level at some point where you're going to have a lot greater resolution as far as where you are, as far as GPS. Have you ever gotten the message on your phone that your GPS or your location information will be more accurate using Wi-Fi?
Yeah, 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 I get that.
Yeah.
That's what you're leveraging. You're leveraging
Sorry,
the network,
Mano, I
right?
agree.
Yeah.
You know,
So now these are fixed sites you're leveraging. It's just like with RTK, right? When we use a ground station for RTK, we're using the cellular network. And that's the virtue of using RTK, is you can leverage that also. When we use the ground station is another point of triangulation,
Mhm.
right,
but that ground station can also use the cellular network around it to be
exactly.
more
To help
accurate
with the accuracy.
in location. Yeah.
Right.
That's where the virtue is going to
I
come
get
from.
it. Maybe I'm being a little bougie about it because I had a bad experience with my Air 2S and T-Mobile. I would give you the bird now, but it's Herman's live stream. But what happened was, it's time to upgrade and you upgrade your technology. So I said, okay, I have an Air 2S. I need to upgrade my 4G tablet that I have. Okay. Knowing that the 2S is probably work fine on 5G. I go to T-Mobile, here's your tablet, blah, blah, blah. Every time I use a tablet, I can't fly. When I use my cell phone, I can fly. Come to find out, T-Mobile is still selling and using 4G tablets. The Air 2S will
Everyone
not
does.
work. The Air 2S will not work on anything less than 5G.
Sure it will.
Okay. No, not true. Not true.
Well, that
It
was
will
my
work
experience.
on-
I
yes.
couldn't find a tablet that it worked
No,
on
no. It
So
has
how
nothing to
does
do with
yours work?
4G.
because I have to use my 5G cell phone as a tethered
So you're
hotspot,
telling me
and then
that
I hook up.
And what's your service? What's your service like on? Okay, what service do you have on your phone?
What's up?
I have
Jay?
T-Mobile on my phone. I also have a 5G hotspot.
Tim Jackson.
Okay, wait. Back up.
Yeah.
So you have a 5G hotspot. You
Mhm.
have a 5G phone.
Mhm.
Your drone works with the 5G phone. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And you're
Yep.
telling me the only difference between the tablet and the phone is the tablet only operates on 4G? And
Yeah.
you can't
It
fly
was
your
a
drone with
4G
that?
tablet that they
That's
gave
not a
me.
true statement.
And I known
There's
Tom.
some configuration issue there that you're having with that tablet that's preventing you
No,
from making a
that's
network
it.
connection.
Tom, we called T-Mobile and they actually said that that tablet is only 4G. So you know what?
And-
I said, cut the service off of it because I had cell service on it, thinking I could use it because I used it with my Phantom 4, my Mavic Pro, and everything else DJI that I had. And now I just turn on my phone's hotspot and problem solved. I can fly wherever the hell I want.
So, but your statement is the DJI Air 2S will not fly on 4G service.
So far from what I've seen, yes. From what I've
true.
seen personally.
It's not true. It's not.
I could
Wouldn't
believe
it be
it.
all over the
Fake
place?
news.
Wouldn't it be the majority of the
Okay.
retail users, Lawrence,
All those guys that have
are on
phones that are
4G?
3-4 years old.
Get it.
the majority of users are on 4G.
I got a true statement. For some reason, my Air 2S, the controller, will charge my iPhone, but it won't charge my iPad.
Yes.
I mean,
I've seen that one.
Yeah, I
Yes.
put the option on.
Yeah.
It won't charge my iPad. So when my iPad dies, I have to take it off, put the phone, put the iPad to charge somewhere else. I can't keep it going off of the power on the controller. I don't know what that is about.
That's because you need a roll
I
of
don't have
quarters
these
to be
problems
putting
over
in an iPhone slot. That's why.
Yeah, what's up with that? I don't
When
get
my nephew, when my son calls me on his iPhone and he has bad connection, I call him back and say, "What's the matter? You ran out of quarters?"
So if this was a true problem,
Right.
okay,
It would be all
I
over.
get what you're saying now, Tom. It does
it would
make
be
sense,
all
but
over Mavic pilots. Do a
But
search
for-
on Mavic pilots and say my tablet
Who's that?
won't fly the Air 2S on.
we were talking
4G.
about Yankee Stadium before and the
Yeah,
Mets.
yeah.
That's Eddie. He just sent me a
Eddie.
pitch. He told me if I wanted to go to a game later.
Yeah, I was talking to him earlier.
Yeah, he sent me this picture of the seats, how good the seats are. I told him, can I? He's at the Yankee game. I hope the weather holds out.
Yeah, I guess he didn't like my statement about the Mets. I didn't get the reply back, Steve.
yeah. He's quick to not respond, but that's actually good because rather than cause any issues, it's just sometimes good to stay quiet.
Yeah. Well, you know where Eddie stands because he's in Yankee Stadium right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know his position in this.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I talked to him earlier.
Yeah. He's just started texting.
Tim Jackson, good to see you, man. Hope all is well over there in Australia. I know it's early morning. Are you getting ready to go to work or what? What's happening over there?
Early morning
On your
winter.
Yeah.
And it is winter, right?
Yep.
In Australia now?
In the southern hemisphere. Yep.
Yeah, it's
We got heat
midwinter
waves.
there.
We got heat
Just
waves.
to think, just
Yeah.
to think, guys, just to go squirrel really quick.
What?
In 6 months, it'll be Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah, 6 months.
Yeah, which is like,
Look at
which
Tom.
is. I'm just
Yo,
saying.
listen. Yeah.
Hey, to our viewing
Enjoy where
community,
you are
whenever
right
you
now.
want fact check done, you come to those guys. You got all the facts you can handle. It's like watching Fox News and CNN all at the same time.
Wow.
I got a fact
A little bit of
about-
TMZ.
about the my experience with the DJI FPV drone. Now, when I went to Philly, I didn't use it at all.
Yeah.
I brought it,
Is that
but I didn't find a lot of situations that I actually
You didn't
enjoy.
want to wake up the neighbors?
No, Philly is a great place to fly. Nobody
Oh, yeah, I love
bothers
it.
you. Police are right there, and you're just flying. And sometimes they'll
You
just
wave
look at
to
the
them.
screen, and they're
Yeah.
just cool with it. They don't, they're not like other cities, you could say. But I just didn't see a situation to really rock out like that. So it wasn't a big deal. I wasn't stressing it.
The only place
I didn't-
is along the river.
Yeah, that would be a good place. Like
Yeah,
by the
that's
bridge.
the place over there.
And so I didn't use it. And then when I got back to New York, I used it once. That one nautical mile we were talking about last time.
Right.
On the show. So I used it again, and then I was just straight Air 2S, Air 2S, Air 2S. But this weekend I was supposed to go to the beach, right? But the weather's been crazy. It's like thunderstorms, and then the sun comes out,
Yep.
and then the clouds move in, and it's like 100 degrees. So we were supposed to go to the beach, and when I woke up that morning, it was cloudy. And I was invited to go hang out with some FPV guys, a nice location upstate. So since it was cloudy and looked like the day was gonna not work out too good for the beach, I took a shot at droning, right? And just hanging out with these guys sparked the DJI FPV crave again.
Mhm.
Man, these guys were whipping around this train bridge upstate.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to keep up. You know, I'm in super beginner mode, you know. So but I'm not, I honestly, I'm back to wanting to practice every day. I wish the weather was better. I wish the weather was better. These dudes were like cutting through the beams underneath the bridge and chasing each other. And I was like, man, I should have just kept practicing.
So, Stevie, I don't know if you saw, but Eddie Nunez had just posted up a video of him and his buddy Ray flying some parking lots out on Long Island.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that
He
video.
finally acknowledged his crack addiction or FPV addiction.
Right.
Okay. Which it is. Come on.
Yeah.
You can get obsessive over this stuff because it is so immersive. That's what it is, Stevie.
You get that adrenaline you don't get with the other
you
stuff. You know, when you
on the camera
cinematic,
drones where
you're focusing on the shot, right? And you're trying to make it as smooth as possible because you're kind of envisioning, well, at least I envisioned what I'm going to produce later as a video.
Right.
I'm like really into it.
FPV, that doesn't always work like that. And if you
and Lawrence, what I would say, it's in the photography world, and Stevie, correct me if I'm wrong. Here's the way I feel it is.
What's up, Sean?
What's up, Sean?
I think it's more like being a landscape photographer versus a sideline sports photographer.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's
I agree.
the difference. I'll edit my shots after the game, where when I'm doing landscape, I'm already editing in my head. When I'm on that sideline, man, I'm in capture mode.
Well,
I'm just trying to get through it.
I got a question.
I try to explain also, Tom, that when someone asks me what is FPV compared to camera drone, and I explain to them, first of all, you remember that feeling you got when you took off with your GPS drone and you were in the air and you were flying that adrenaline rush? Well, when you fly FPV, magnify that times 10.
Uh-huh.
And then you know what I'm experiencing.
That adrenaline, and this is for, Herman, have you flown any FPV drones? Legit ones? No. All right. So Tom and Lawrence, is on you guys. Do you ever get so much adrenaline, your hands shake? Like you get that shaky chihuahua hand?
Yes. Here's the perfect example. My nephew's into wrestling and we watch wrestling together and stuff like that. You remember Ric Flair? I did a stunt one time through a gap. And after I did it, I was like, woo, because I actually did, but my hands were like this though. Because I was like, wow, I did it. I can't believe it.
Carlos back
You're
from
100% right.
Yeah, Carlos back from the sky on his first rip. His hands were like coffee hands, they were just, and I have done that too. The adrenaline is so much, right? That your fingers shake. It's insane. Like you never get that unless you're doing something really crazy with your camera drone. You don't really get that adrenaline because it's like, honestly, you have to really get to know how you drone to be going through those beams and stuff like that.
You know how you get that rush with your camera drone, Stevie? Flying through Croton Gorge Dam. Flying through the dam, through the water, that little gap, you'll get that kind of rush because the water's splashing.
Any gap, man.
Yes.
Right. A camera drone. But what's crazy is that you ever look at somebody's video and you're like, oh man, I gotta go there. And like you just envisioning all the shots. But once you get your drone in the air, you realize this doesn't seem as simple, man. When I watched that video, like that gap, the Croton Dam.
Yeah,
the Croton Dam seems simple. It's a huge gap, but you still feel like, what if I lose signal and then it's gonna go return to home and you under the dam?
A splash of water could ruin your day.
You know what that is, and I'll be honest with you, and this is something that you guys don't realize, especially Lawrence. When you're flying FPV, right? As opposed to your camera drone. Part of the problem with flying the camera drone is the GPS. It takes away from you flying the actual drone and makes it a more rigid flight through those tighter spots. You understand what I'm saying? Whereas
Yeah.
that with FPV, it's a more loose feeling and you have more control.
Exactly.
over it.
Corey
That's
Mano.
true.
Yeah, Corey Mano says, yeah, try racing. 6 pilots and you're ahead
And you
and
hit
not
those
making any
gaps.
mistakes. Wow, that's
Right.
nerve
He's
wracking.
right, because you don't have to worry about the pilots ahead of you. You have to worry about the gates and the pilots behind
So,
you,
look,
as well
look.
as ahead of you.
Well,
not
you hope they
crashing.
behind
What you're experiencing is a scientific phenomenon, the release of endorphins.
Give me a second.
Okay.
I have to pay the water bill.
So these are the same endorphins we all seek with different medicinal enhancements, we'll say. Well, we're getting it out of flying drones. Okay, that's why it's so easy to get obsessed with it, Stevie. I mean, come on, you want to build that perfect 5-inch on that 5-inch frame, right? And then like, okay, yeah, I'll use that for this. I mean, you look at Eddie. Eddie just started last August.
Yes.
How many FPV drones does Eddie have now?
5 in total. That includes the DJI FPV.
Correct. Okay. All I got to say is Dramaris can't blame me. His wife can't blame me for all of that. I'm just saying.
That was before your time with the FPV.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
because I'm getting blamed for a lot in that marriage.
Sean-
Okay. He walks in with a new piece of equipment. I'm getting blamed. Why did Tom have that?
Sean,
Okay.
Sean is laughing at the statement about adrenaline with a camera drone.
Hey, listen, everybody travels at a different speed. Sean.
Not everybody has a lot of excitement in their life.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to excite somebody that grew up in New York City, and what we see, we kind of
just
like
crossing the street,
we're
Stevie.
like numb. Yeah, we're like numb. So it takes a lot to get adrenaline.
Hey, we get a rush if we make it across the street. Okay.
Yeah, if you make it to the bodega and get your Snapple iced tea and make it home safe
without a graze wound.
With a camera drone, once you get that thing up in the air and it got that first hover, you're good.
Yeah.
There's nothing else after that. You just go do what you want to do.
But there's a lot going on with the DJI FPV, and I'm hanging out with real pilots like Eddie, people that are more
Ray.
seasoned and stuff like that. Ray. But the guys I was hanging out with this weekend, they're like 4 years in the game, some of them maybe more. And I was explaining to them how nerve-wracking the DJI FPV drone is, because none of them have it. And that is because I know there's a way you could turn it off, but I still have it on. Even when you have it in sports mode or in the manual modes, it's still going to let you know when you're getting too close to something. It won't stop you.
I wish I could turn that off, Steve.
It will alert you if something's on your left or your right. So you have these things going. It's almost like
constantly.
Star Wars. You're getting attacked and it's telling you like the left side, the right side. So now I'm flying through gaps and I'm like not that close to anything, but this thing is screaming the whole time.
Right.
And that's working my nerves because I feel like the drone is going to explode.
Stevie, they got to shut that off in some firmware upgrade. They got to give us the option in a firmware upgrade.
I don't know what it is to feel like to fly a FPV drone that's not screaming at me every 2 minutes because I'm getting too close to something. I'm flying between trees and I have like 4 feet, 5 feet in both sides, but it's still ringing. It's going all crazy. And I'm like, what's going on? And I was flying, like I said, I was flying with the guys. So it got me to fly more. So I'm bringing the DJI FPV wherever I go. And if I get an opportunity, I'll jump out and just fly. And the other day I was flying and I guess it was the sun. There was nothing around me. And I had to be at least 10 feet away from the cliff that I was messing around with. I was trying to figure out how you guys maneuver diving. And I need to hang out with FPV pilots instead of trying to learn this stuff on my own before I blow up my drone. But anyway, my thing was screaming and it had to be the sun. It had to be.
Well, we've had that, Stevie.
Yeah.
We've had that sensor issue before.
The simulator, Stevie.
Okay.
Yeah, with the 2 Pro.
Yeah, we've had it before with the camera drones.
And we discussed it on the show.
Yeah.
We had a few
and
that
it's a known phenomenon with the DJI FPV drone. You will get some interference sometimes from the sun.
It's a known
It is a
phenomenon
setting
with both types.
Yeah,
you gotta make that a user selectable setting. I gotta be able to mute that.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree, because you know what? Stevie, that's distracting when you are trying to get close to things and want to focus on that, and you have this blaring.
Yeah,
Okay.
it throws your focus off, and that's how you're gonna make a mistake, because that thing is screaming. So your first reaction is to pull away on the throttle, but that might not even be the best option because now you have a dead throttle, right? So that if you're not pulling away the right way, that drone is just gonna go low.
Right.
Now, going low might not be the best answer if you're hitting a gap underneath a train bridge with metal beams underneath you, metal beams above you.
Exactly.
You know, like how do you?
It might not have picked up the obstacles below you that you think are not an issue because you're missing the obstacles above you. And look, I don't mind if you show it to me visually and with the Star Wars warning around me, red, 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 yellow, yellow. That's fine because I can tone that out. What I can't tone out is the blare in my ears, which is constant.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have.
It takes away a little bit from the pleasure of it.
That's one of my gripes. I love the drone. You know, one of the guys was laughing at me because, you know, we all, you know, some of us did the software update. I know I did it. And I don't know if everybody knows, if anybody has the DJI FPV drone in the chat, but it reset all my settings. So I did the software update. And the first thing I noticed was the camera settings because the sky looked perfect once I turned it on. And I said, wait, the sky is not supposed to look perfect. I'm supposed to put an ND filter because I always have it at the 120 frames, 4K 60.
It went into auto mode on you.
So it was on, I knew it was on auto mode. Once I looked through the goggles, I'm like, I didn't even put an ND filter. It looks perfect. So I started testing that. Then I put the drone up and guess what? I had the double speed mode. The sports mode was doubled up. The manual mode, you know how you had to go through jump through a little.
Yeah, you have to get through the two settings in order to enable it. Yeah.
So I couldn't get into manual mode. So I had to bring the drone back down, start messing with all the settings and everything. But the guys I was with, they were laughing because I'm able to stop in midair. Like, hold up, something's wrong. And I just start messing with it. Like, yo, if you were a real FPV pilot, that drone would just fell out of the sky. You over here, like, just.
You would have had to come. You would have had to come in and land and make those adjustments.
Yeah, I'm like looking, and the drone is just up there, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to
Stevie, you paid for that.
Yeah, I paid for
capability. Okay, we paid for that.
True. You paid. That's called protection, Stevie.
Yes, and it's the insurance policy.
Stevie, that's
that big pause button.
That's what you could call bad habits. If I get a regular bind and fly.
Yeah. You
like, hold up, let me make an adjustment. Woo, pow.
How many times, Stevie, when we're out, you hear people say, yeah, I think I'm going to get one of those DJI FPV just to fly over water. Right?
Yep.
Because we have the safety net.
Right.
Okay.
That's
if
why
you're
I
starting
said
out FPV flying, don't be flying over no water.
That's why
Turtle mode
there's
doesn't work in
FPV
water.
and there's DJI FPV.
Yeah.
But,
and if you know DJI sensors still to present day don't do well over water.
Nah, I don't. No, I tell you, you know what? I don't experience that anymore. I mean, that was an issue. I would think with my Mavic, my original Mavic, I had a little bit of an issue early on with the Mavic 2 Pro, but I thought that was resolved in a firmware update. You know, remember, you used to be able to turn off certain things, like the downward facing sensor. You used to be able to turn that off when you were flying over water. But yeah, I haven't experienced that problem.
Well, you know what, Angie said something real quick. She says, you know how you hold your breath when you're taking regular photo shots? Sometimes they do the same when working on a scene with the drone video and forget to breathe. And Angie, when I teach people how, it's funny you say that, because when I teach people how to fly, one of the key things that I constantly repeat to them is breathe. Breathe. Because I was standing there one time and was, what's that, Herman?
No, I was asking Angie how many times has she gotten lightheaded and fallen down?
Yeah, because I've actually.
Then Angie, I would wait a little while longer before you start flying FPV, okay, or at least have an oxygen.
You're gonna hold your breath,
okay, because you're gonna just hold your breath constantly.
You do.
You know, it's funny because, like I said, I think I mentioned this before. You know, me and the wife sitting on the tailgate of the truck, and I'm flying the ridges, and she starts laughing at me, and I'm like, "What?" She goes, "You must have come real close." And I go, "Because of the beeping." She could hear the beeping. She goes, "No, because you raised your legs."
Okay.
You're one of those people that fly like that, Tom?
No, you know what? I don't do the Stevie. I don't do the Stevie Wonder. But it was
Well, you
funny
don't
that,
go
you
like
know, I was
this?
getting close to a ridge and up, I
No,
pull
no,
my
that's
legs
what I'm
up like
talking
that's going to
about.
make a difference.
If
Listen,
you
I got a
fly
story about
underneath
that.
something, do you do that?
I got a story
Yeah,
about
you know what? I actually, I kind of did duck my head a little. Yes,
I
absolutely.
did that.
Listen,
Guilty.
That's why
listen,
I was going with
flying FPV, I have ducked, I've flinched, I've turned sideways like this, and the drone turned sideways. I've done a few things, but it's a complete difference when you don't have sensors going beep, 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 and there's a tree here covering 3/4 of your screen, and you know you can't flip out of it, but you can spin out of it. You know, those are all things that you have to worry about. So flying, I do know of 3 people so far that got the DJI FPV bird
They
and
still
have
have 'em?
converted to full FPV.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Because
I know a few.
Well, before we jump subject, I've done the I've done the duck down.
Mhm.
I did it this weekend and I laughed to myself. It was so funny. Like
You have to.
I was just like,
Hey, Stevie, let me ask you a question. Remember we were out up by the Hudson River in Yonkers, and I was flying with the motion controller, and Eddie started laughing his ass off because what was the pose I had with the motion
oh yeah,
controller?
he had the casual pose, just leaning.
Leaning against the pole, one
against
hand
the
in my
pole.
pocket, the other hand on the motion controller.
Yeah, he looked like he was just waiting for the train in the subway or something. Like he was just mad calm after having like a Joe Cool cigarette.
See,
or something.
Stevie, that's the way to fly FPV in the city because nobody knows it's you flying the FPV.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he just looked
Everybody's
like,
looking for somebody like this, okay?
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah, with
sitting
a
there
big
just
red
chilling
stick.
out.
Views and opinions heard tonight are not necessarily the views and
Okay.
opinions of everyone on the panel and or in the chat.
Always fly
I
with
got
my
it.
VO.
Well, check this out, guys.
And guys, just check rentavo.com. We can make arrangements, okay?
Okay. New DJI Fly app release, guys. So
What's new?
according to this, we'll see what the new goodies they got in this new download for
The new
for the
firmware.
new the new Fly app update has a download which is version 1.4.8. And they did some things here that a couple of guys were interested in. So what they did was they added support for this mini SE, and they trimmed down the download for the DJI Air 2S. They've optimized the camera exposure parameters on the on adjustments on it. So they've also optimized the attitude indicator on the map, and then the mapping and all the map on the little screen on your screen. So they've done some upgrades to all of those things with this new Fly app. So and I haven't gotten a chance.
Yeah, this is the third upgrade too, Herman.
Yes, it is.
In its
And
many
I have
months.
I have not actually done that one, but if they say they've optimized the map in the lower left-hand corner,
Yeah.
I hope like hell it's in real time.
And
because
they've done some
for the
things with
reason
the
I
camera
don't-
exposure too. Because remember, I was telling you, it shoots a little dark. I don't
Yes.
care. It shoots a little dark. That's why I did the
A little
comparing
contrast,
the
yeah.
footage. You know, the Phantom 4 Pro and all of the color platforms is very cool. Very cool, especially in no color and in true color. They're very cool. And then like how you like we all both like the D-Cine like in that. We're not too. I'm not crazy about the D-Log and the Phantom 4 Pro, but some people like it, some people don't. But
So Herman,
D-Log was where to go with the 2S, the D-Log.
what you saying? When you take pictures with the Air 2S, you find when you get home they're a little darker than when you remember taking them. That's
No,
what
what
you're
I'm saying to you is that in the shadows, if you look at when it takes pictures or it shoots video, especially in video,
Right.
because I shoot a lot of video more so than pictures.
Right.
You'll see like it's very contrasty. I noticed that when they came out with the second version of the Maverick series, it was much warmer than where their color profiles were before.
Oh, okay.
And as they went on with the Mini and all those other drones, you saw that the footage are very contrasty and dark in the shadows.
Oh, right.
Still even the same with this, with the 1-inch sensor on it, but it was a little better.
Right.
I don't know what they did. I'll see what happens once I do this update, but it's not a bad shot. You can work with it. It's fine.
Well, you
I
should
just
be able to
prefer-
have a lot
prefer
of
to do that.
latitude with it, Herman, because it is a 10-bit image. I mean, MD-Log is the D-Log M is the right color profile to go with, because that'll give you that latitude first to color correct and then to color grade. I mean, if you're shooting it in normal, you're gonna start to get a lot of contrast and
That's what I'm talking about.
a lot of noise in normal mode. Absolutely. So
Yeah.
honestly, you kind of, I know you're kind of stuck. There's no in between. Like, the in between was always like D Cine like, but there's no real in between here. It's either you're gonna go with the flat D-Log M,
Mhm.
and it's going to give you nothing but latitude in post,
Right.
or what you see is what you get,
That's
kind
the
of in
best
that
way to go
normal
with
mode.
this drone is the D-Log.
Yeah. It's
No problem, Angie.
the best thing, the easiest thing to do, of course, is to start to set yourself up a profile LUT that you can just like slap on everything you're importing in. And then this way, that'll give you a better starting ground, and it'll take a little bit of that edge off the contrast, and you still won't get any pixelation in the shadow areas. Because I know in normal mode, it seems to get very muddy in the shadows. And you lose a lot of detail there. So
Yeah.
you really, the only way you can adjust that is using that more prosumer profile.
Yeah. You cannot retrieve those dark shadows. Like when they're underexposed, those dark spots, it's very hard. Even with powerful software, you could probably bring it back, but then you got to denoise it. And when you denoise it, you take the clarity away from the sharp edges.
Clarity. So
yeah, so
look, I'm going to be totally honest with you. You can't really be shooting this thing at anything but 100 ISO. Okay.
Oh yeah, I would do.
It's like I don't care. You can give me 1200 ISO on this thing. You're kidding me, man.
Filters if you're gonna go anything higher than that.
Hey, that's
agree.
good if all you're gonna ever do is look at what you're shooting on the screen when you shot it, because when you look at it afterwards, it's gonna look like crap.
Right. If you want to take a natural picture, and I'm not a photographer, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, but to get a long exposure, when you set up the ISO and the shutter and all of that stuff, the picture's darker than what you actually see because the shutter has to stay open that wideness. So, like you said, flying.
Well,
with
you always
that
see a
1200
representation, right, Lawrence? You always
Right.
see a representation of what you're going to see.
of what
It's not a true
supposed to be,
representation.
of what
Remember,
it's
we would have
supposed
we would have a depth of field button on a camera.
Mhm.
Okay. Everything you were looking through the viewfinder was at like 2.8. Okay, because it had
Yeah.
to let in enough light for you to see what you were shooting. And then you would hit that depth of field button and it would stop down the aperture. Okay. And it would get so much darker, but whatever you saw was in focus was that depth of field then, right? But here you don't have that luxury.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, when I'm shooting with a Z6 camera, and I can definitely pump that bad boy up to 12,800 ISO and give you something clean at the other end.
Mhm.
But I got a sense of this effing big.
but it doesn't look as natural either.
No.
When you do
I
that.
can make it look as natural as you want. That's not what it is. I don't get the noise pollution, the sensor pollution across my photo sites because my sensor is this goddamn big instead of being this big.
Right,
Now,
exactly.
think about it, right? When you can't hear somebody on the radio, we're talking about two-way radio. What
Yeah.
do? You turn up the squelch a little, right?
Mhm.
Right.
That squelch button is an ISO button.
Right.
That's ISO.
I understand
So
now.
all you're doing is you're turning up the sensitivity on that sensor. But what happens when you turn up sensitivity, you get more static, right?
You introduce
So-
the noise. Yeah.
So you
Well,
got the
see,
pollution going
that's-
across, and that's what's causing that. Look, back in the day, we had film grain,
Mhm.
You can make that look artsy and fartsy, and that was cool. What we're getting, the
Now
grain
it's
we get out
horrible.
of this is noise, and there's nothing natural about it.
Right.
That's the natural you're talking about, Lawrence. Okay.
Okay.
But Lawrence,
That
that's why I
that
said,
the sensor noise we're getting
uh-huh.
doesn't look anything like film grain. There's nothing natural about it.
All
And
right,
that
okay.
takes
That's why I
away
said
from the
with the
look of
new
the image.
sensor, that darkness and the high contrast and the shadows and stuff like that, that darkness it's eliminated a little bit more. But
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
still there.
Well,
Hey,
it's like
DJI
Stevie was saying, you
Tonight,
got to
just
get
does
your,
it.
I
Thanks for the
always,
support.
The P3 does it.
yeah, I write down all my settings, Stevie, on all my drones. And then I go back every time I do a damn firmware upgrade.
Mhm.
And I go back before I even fly because I'm at
Good
my
night,
desk.
JSK.
I go back and I check off everything again, because inevitably it'll be the one thing you don't check that screws you when you're out in the field, right? I mean, that's a luxury of being able to stop the drone in the sky and make the change on the settings, but you probably lost the shot you were looking to grab, right?
You know what annoyed me about the DJI FPV? I couldn't find that switch to go full acro. You know how it protects you from
Yeah,
doing
yeah, yeah.
flips? You could go into manual mode, but you can't
There's
do
a reason they hide it.
Yeah.
There's a
It-
reason they
it's in a
hide it.
certain spot that I looked at all the labels and I'm like, where is this thing? And it was underneath where you make the adjustments for the yaw and everything, the adjustments for that.
Yep.
For the sensitivity of it. You got the 3 rows of 6,
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, 3 rows
Yeah.
of 3, whatever.
Right.
So anyway, it was under that. But you in the field, bro. Like
You don't want to
get it on. Like
and
who
God,
thinks
and
to go
honestly,
look in
Stevie,
there, like
that interface is not that intuitive. That interface is nothing but a menu dive. Oh my God. Look,
especially when you're in the battlefield, bro. We've ripping drones and you just want to
Well,
fly. And I'm
Stevie,
like,
we
come
talked
on.
about, and Herman, right? We talked about DJI heads up display. We talked
Right.
about it with Steven Silla. We talked about it with when he was talking about ANAFI and how they were
Right, with
setting
that,
up their HUD, right?
Yeah.
The HUD is what we thrive. DJI, listen to us. Forget flying, go for and pilot, and give me something I can focus on my flying. I can turn around, see my telemetry, and over here I can change my goddamn settings for anything I need. It's the difference between buying a Nikon starter DSLR camera
Mhm.
and a high-end Nikon Pro body. You look at them and go, oh my God, that Pro body looks so goddamn complicated with all those buttons and everything. This lower end camera doesn't have, it can still shoot nice pictures, doesn't need all those buttons. That's because you got a menu dive for 2 days to
Yep,
find any
yep.
of those settings.
And that
on
was
camera.
Sony's downfall, because a lot of people that were doing Canon and Nikon that were trying to switch to Sony, it was like a nightmare to go through
I
all the
couldn't deal with
settings.
the menu diving.
I love Sony because Sony makes some of the best lenses in the world. Even there's
I
Sony
know,
lenses
Stevie,
and
but
Nikon. But to go through those manuals, if you're doing a professional shoot and then
I
all of a
can't
sudden you
get
have to
from
make
one
an
thing to
adjustment.
another.
Exactly.
Right, right.
You're in the middle of a shoot and you have to change something. Now you go through a menu dive.
Stevie, I want to auto bracket.
15 minutes.
Right. I want to auto bracket. I got to dive 3 different menus to get there.
Oh
And
man.
if I'm shooting a wedding, I definitely want to auto
That's
bracket
the
specific scenes. Okay.
Right.
Like the exchanging of the vows, you want to make sure that's properly exposed. So
Yeah,
I'm
you
going to
don't
take it in 5 different styles.
You don't want to miss that because you're in the menu and you're looking
Yeah.
at a YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, with the
Looking down
earpiece.
at the men, chimping the back of your camera while the true shot is in front of you, right?
I was upstate. I was
That's
borderline.
good to know, Matt.
I was
And-
borderline gonna call Billy, man.
Wow.
Matt,
I was
see,
standing on the mountain. I was
No,
gonna call him on the side.
Well, that's what we were talking
Where the hell
about.
is this button at?
I was,
Anyway, I found
I
it.
was chatting with Matt, Big Matt, and Matt Condiff, and they were saying, which was a concern of mine with the Fly app, and we did see it in the listing, but they have fixed the map issue where if you click on the map, if you're flying forward, the arrow hasn't caught up to you on the map.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you and
I
I
was
complained
explaining how
about that map.
How that's
before.
very important to me, because in the event that I get lost or need a landmark or something to look at, that's important. You need to have a map in real time.
Right, you need
So-
to be able to instrument fly.
Does
Yes,
anybody know?
exactly. If you have to instrument fly, that map is most crucial.
Right. Does anybody know if the update fixed the satellite numbers. You know how tiny that is? You can't see how many satellites you got.
No, it did not.
Yeah.
It did not fix it.
No,
Oh, that's
No.
no,
Wow.
they only work.
No, my
on-
both bifocals have to wear a pair of bifocals to see that goddamn number.
They only.
And
added
why did they
support-
make it any different than what it was in the other interfaces? I don't understand. What
that
know,
satellite is
It's
super
because
important.
it-
to know how
someone
many satellites.
somewhere,
they
because
only-
somewhere in programming said they don't need to see the satellites.
Okay.
That's
That's
super
all that
important,
was.
especially in a city like
It is.
ours with all these
is
electronics
important.
going on. You could have 19 satellites take off and just go into like a hot spot of
Right.
interference,
be
and all of a
down to
sudden you're
5.
down to like freaking 7 or 8, and all of a sudden
Exactly.
your drone doesn't know who you are, where you are.
And
And
now,
you have a
guys, we're
lost
not
drone.
talking about FPV. We're talking about anything that operates with DJI Fly. So we're talking about that brand new flyer with the Mini 2 or the Mini SE that doesn't know any better, but can
Well-
understand the more the better. But now he can't see that it's more.
You can't
Or
even-
it looks like it might
it'll
be
be
more
in the
and
next
it's not.
version of the
Yeah.
update. This
Yeah,
version
well, you
added
hope.
support for the
4.0,
Mini
2,
SE,
3, 6,
and they did some work with the camera, and they
Right.
did some stuff for the map and stuff like that, and the
Right.
You know.
Right. Well, see, I'm
Well,
glad that
Thank
they
you,
did it.
explicit.
And apparently they do listen to people. And I'm not
Thanks.
saying
well, I'm quite sure they saw it themselves.
Right, right. When they start
Yeah.
seeing people complaining, you know, you do that little questionnaire thing. What do you think about this product and stuff like that? I always put the map sucks.
It
I'm gonna make
blows.
sure I put down what bothers me or what my pet peeves are, because if you don't do it, they will not know. And then when they start seeing more than one person saying the same thing,
Mhm.
then
Well,
they
guys,
say,
you know,
"Maybe this
one
is
place I would definitely post your grievances.
Support.
Okay. You know, you don't have to wait for Festivus to post your grievances. You can go to Mavic Pilots, Phantom Pilots. By the way, all those sites are run in the background by DJI. Okay. So it's the best place to air your grievances because there are plenty of bandwagoners there. Once you post something, they will jump on the bandwagon and they'll slap the hell out of DJI
Yeah.
until somebody on the DJI acquiesces and says, okay, yeah, we understand the problem. I found that to be the case. When I'm, like I said, Lawrence, when I'm looking up a problem, you know, that I might have with the drone,
Yeah,
I'll just throw a search term into Mavic Pilots or one of those and see what I come up with.
I need to start doing the same thing because I
yeah.
did it also with FPV. I was having a problem with GPS and getting GPS to work. So what better group to do it in than a long distance cruising group? Who else knows about GPS than someone who cruises
Well,
1,
that's-
2, 3, 4, 5 miles?
And there are thousands of
agree. You're
pages on
right. I didn't
GPS
think
alone
about
on
that.
Mavic Pilots.
I got this email yesterday.
How far
They
were
want me to
you
fill
on?
out a survey for the DJI FPV drone.
Yeah, I got mine.
Got that
also.
yesterday.
Yeah.
All right, so we need to talk before we fill this out.
Oh,
We'd be
man,
on the
we
same
got-
page.
dude. Okay, there's only so much room in that thing. Okay.
I've never done an update that totally wiped out. It was like I just turned on the drone when I took it out of the box. Like
Mhm.
totally wiped out everything.
Yeah.
Stevie, way too many times for me. That's why that's why I still revert to the pen and the sheet of paper.
Yeah.
I write down my settings because it's like
I remember
I agree with you. It's not always everything, but yeah, I've had a couple resets.
I remembered everything except for the
You see what Matt Hunter put?
on
He
the,
says if you tap on the satellite settings in the top right corner, it shows it easier.
easier.
Yeah.
And that's
It expands the view, but I'm saying, Matt,
it
am I
needs to be-
really taking up that much screen real estate by making that number go from 2-point type up to 4-point type?
or
I
at
mean,
least
even
a
contracts
6
in
or
New York
8
State
pica.
can't be smaller
Right,
than
or at
4-point
least a
type.
6 or 8 pica type.
Yeah.
Even yeah, I understand that totally, but at least they're doing that, Matt, because right
No,
now
but
I
see, you
also-
got to, Matt, you got to do the same thing for the battery. Okay, to get any real usable information on the damn battery, I got to click on that thing and get to it and open it up, and you know, And depending on the contrast of what I'm shooting, I still might not. I don't always get the idea that, you know, the interface is not conducive to viewing, because when you put light colored text up in the region where you know the sky is going to be, are
Right,
you going to be able to see it?
Right.
So
exactly.
just
Right.
stupid things like that. Give me a higher contrast on stuff that's higher up on the screen, because if you ever look at a horizon line, it's either going to be at the 1/3 line, or it's going to
Right.
be at the 2/3 line,
Exactly.
but it's always going to be sky at the top. So give me something I can freaking see up there. Okay. And then don't give me black text down at the bottom where it's probably the ground I'm looking at. Okay. So those are the pet peeves I have when it comes to interfaces.
Mhm.
And I'm getting freaking old, man. Give
I
me some
will
help
admit,
seeing this shit, will you?
well, Tom, I will admit, I was reluctant to get the Air 2S. And I can say I am happy with it. I'm very happy with it. I'm still learning it. If people say, well, how could you still be learning a camera drone? Each drone has its own characteristics and tweaks. It's a matter of feeling them out and getting to know them.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And each one is different. So, you
Yeah,
know,
that's my point.
gain some experience flying one drone first. Okay. And then you can grow up someday and be like us and have 3, 4, 5, 6 drones in your Air Force. Okay.
Right.
But yeah, start off and get your techniques down before you
If
run on to the
Tom,
next
you
pretty
remember,
woman walking down the street.
I did a
Keep
video
wet.
cruising out here at
Yeah.
Beach 9th Street.
Yeah.
And the objective of the video was to go from forward flying, and this may be a little advanced, but to go from flying forward to flying sideways while looking at a subject and then flying parallel.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, well, why do you have to practice that? And I said, because with each drone is different. I have a Phantom 4 that I could do that with my eyes closed. This little Mavic Air 2S handles that transition from forward flying to sideways flying to flying parallel smooth like the Phantom.
I
And I'm
like
very
that about
happy
it.
with that. Huh?
I like that about it. The way it
Right.
can fly
And I'm
sideways.
very happy with that. But you cannot do that with every drone. I have not done it with a Mavic Pro. I
No,
haven't done it with a
it's you have to develop muscle memory. You know, this is
Yes,
why we've
yes.
said countless times, if you want to break into FPV, you've got to do the simulators.
but well,
Okay,
exactly. And
you
Stevie,
don't
that's what I was going to suggest with you,
muscle
Stevie.
memory.
Well,
You
see,
want to learn how
Tom,
to dive a
with this-
building?
with the 2S,
Download a simulator, Stevie, like Liftoff. Velocidrone is a little
I
more
have both.
complicated.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
go to a building and muscle memory. You head up to a building, you're not going to crash into it. You're going to climb. So
Yeah.
next muscle memory is, okay, I've cleared the building. Let me reorientate myself so I can see where I'm going. And if you do it enough times on the simulator, when you have to do it in real life, I took my biggest drone. My biggest drone is like this.
Mhm.
Okay. My 7-inch drone is like this and like that. And I dived a building with it. And the characteristics were completely different from a 5-inch drone.
Yeah, sure.
So this is why if you get a simulator like Liftoff, they don't have 7-inch drones in it, but they have 3-inch all the way up to 5-inch drones. And just by using a simulator, you will get the concept
Right.
or the muscle memory of what you need to do to clear a building or
Yeah.
dive a building or go over a tree and do a split S and reverse and come back under it.
well, Lawrence,
Right.
coming straight down, right? Dive in the building. How far can you go before you have to pull up?
Repeat that. You're a little far from the mic.
When you're diving the
How
building,
far, when
when
you're
do you
diving the
pull up?
building, how far can you pull up? How far can you go towards the street before you got to pull up?
Well, with my FR7, because I know the motors are strong enough, I went down to the second floor. With my FPV birds, with my 5-inch birds, I could probably go between the first and second floor before I have to pull up, which is 20, 30 feet. And that's from a complete dive. The first building that I dived was a 14, 15-story building. I did it with my 5-inch drone. That was child's play doing it. But I did find out, I put a lot of stress on the props. The props were all warped. when I landed, they were not straight anymore. Yes, these are things you have to
Really?
consider because you're bending your props as you're using G-force to pull out of something, and you have to give more throttle. So those props are trying to bite into the air as you're coming down. So
Right.
you're forcing your prop to bend like this as you're coming
I'm
down.
gonna tell you something. I purchased I had liftoff
Mhm.
because I was thinking about getting into FPV before the DJI FPV drone came out. And I was rocking that with the Xbox joystick, right? And then I started doing my research, watching a bunch of videos, and they was saying like, kind of do research on the controller you plan to get for your first FPV drone and kind of buy it ahead of time and connect it to liftoff. And then you get that real feel. Like if you're
Yeah,
pinching
you get
or
the muscle
thumbing,
memory from
Yeah,
using
you
the
get the muscle
controller.
memory.
I've heard that, Stevie.
yeah, with the controller. But I never got that far because then, I kept doing the research and I started putting bind and fly drones that I liked from the research I did. I started putting them in the wish list.
Yeah.
I know all these crazy sites I would find. But like I said, I never executed. I ended up getting the DJI FPV drone. Now, when I
Right.
first purchased it, I haven't tried it lately. So I have a question for people that have liftoff and the FPV drone.
Mhm.
In the chat, or maybe Tom has tried with the DJI FPV drone controller. I plugged it into my computer. I put on liftoff, and it didn't react. I put the Xbox controller, and it worked. But when I put the FPV drone
yeah.
controller, it didn't react. Like I thought.
Now,
like,
see,
the
I was
controller would
actually going
work.
to ask that question to someone out there who flies FPV, the DJI FPV, because I have not known of anyone to take their controller and hook it up. Now, I'm sure
Yeah.
there's someone and some way to do it, but I want to point this out, Steve. If you want to learn how to dive buildings, you see how you were flying when you and Herman were at Calvert Vaux, how you would go up high and you were doing
Right.
your maneuvers. It's the same thing practicing a dive, because you have to know what it feels like to go up and then hit that weightlessness and transition in that weightlessness to come down. And
Right.
once you get confident doing that, you'll do it next to a tree. Then you'll do it next to a taller tree and so on. But the best way to do it without losing money, simulator.
Right. No, I know. So I bought
So the
Velocity
simulator is
drone.
very forgiving.
Hey,
Yeah.
Stevie,
Yes.
check out the link I just threw up in the chat.
Okay.
Okay. That hopefully will help you get connected and lift off with your.
Oh, there it is.
controller.
I just saw it.
Okay.
I just saw this. Okay.
Yeah. So
So,
that.
yeah, check that out. That might help you out, man.
Secret DJI plus liftoff. There you go, Tom. See, each
Okay.
one teach one.
Yeah. All right.
And see, I did not know. Now, here's something you have to take into account, Stevie, but not worry about until it starts getting cold. If you notice, you never see people diving buildings in the winter and stuff like that. And the
Right.
reason is your props. How I said, when you come out of a dive, and maybe Matt Cundiff
They'll crack
and a
instead
few
of
other
bend.
FPV people, when it bends, your props are bending as you're coming out of the G-force turn. In the winter, they shear off down to the hub.
Wow.
I've had, and they say they call it a prop, an explosion. They say your props explode, but
Yeah.
due to the cold and the props not being able to flex
they get
the way they're
fragile.
supposed to.
Yeah.
Here's the
Yes.
other problem you have, though. Here's the other problem you have in the winter, and don't discount this. This counts for camera drone flyers also, okay? So please pay attention. In the wintertime, any moisture in the air can really be a detriment
turn
your
to
drone
ice.
Same
because
thing in the summer.
that will turn to ice on your
But the
blades.
ice-
Don't think that they're spinning so quick you can't accumulate ice. You will
Well-
most definitely accumulate ice much quicker than any other part of the drone because it's accumulating moisture. It's picking up moisture. Now, what you've actually done with that ice, you've changed the airfoil of the blade.
Yes.
It no longer
Yes.
has the right shape
Yes,
to create
exactly.
lift. And as a result of that, it won't lift anymore. And
Well,
you'll come tumbling down.
Sean, I apologize.
humidity
I didn't reach
moisture
out.
is not good for the
Got it.
drone either.
Lying down, so everybody wants to get their shot of emerging through that fog up through a cloud and then getting that big vista. Except you might not be able to recover the drone to get that video back because as you are going up through that fog, the air temperature changes dramatically in a
Densely,
blanket.
densely. Yes, it does.
And
you're going to lose your drone. So the FAA is not trying to take away your fun by saying don't fly through fog or clouds. Okay. They're telling you, based on experience from manned aircraft, flying through clouds and fog can be detrimental. Okay. If you've ever sat at the tarmac, okay, and they de-iced your plane, and then you sat on the tarmac on the taxiway waiting in line, and then you had to get pulled off the line because they de-iced your plane, don't get pissed. Be happy. Okay? Because if that aircraft gets up in the sky and it's got a lot of ice on those wings don't have the same airfoil anymore, and they can't continue to lift the aircraft. So,
Right.
de-icing is a technology that has not yet come to drones. Okay. Don't think it won't. Okay.
Now, I want to touch on the different simulators.
Yes.
Velocidrone, I downloaded that because Val used to have like the live stream, and I wanted to jump in and practice with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I downloaded it, but that never
you can
happened.
do that on liftoff as well.
Yeah, I downloaded it and I never used it yet. I purchased it. It was on sale that day, but I used Liftoff. I was starting with Liftoff. Now I bought the DJI FPV drone, and I tried the simulator that they created. And honestly, I don't like it. There's something about it that doesn't. When I get off of it after a while, I do feel a little queasy. I don't throw
Stevie,
up, sick. I don't
you
get
know
sick,
what?
but I
You know
feel
what?
a little weird.
If you want realistic,
Stevie.
if you want realism, Stevie, Velocidrone actually compensates for the weight of the drone, but you have to be a physicist to figure all of that stuff out. Whereas
right.
Liftoff is a better feeling.
Liftoff is basically
flying,
out of the box.
right? It's a better feeling.
Yeah.
Me personally,
Stick with that. You're
better
off,
feeling flying program for learning how to do stunts and tricks. The only problem and downfall to Liftoff is it doesn't compensate for gravity. So if you come out of, if you power loop over a tree and you come out and that tree is 10 stories high, 7 stories high, it doesn't compensate for gravity and weight to thrust ratio that you actually need in real life.
Right.
But whereas you may have to just tap your throttle and lift off. In real life, you may have to take your throttle to 75%. So if you remember that and you remember it when you're flying, it'll be a great help.
See that guy Ray that flies with Eddie all the time?
Yes, he's the man.
He mentioned that about the DJI FPV simulator. He's like, use it, but keep in mind that it's not factoring in the gravity.
No.
So kind of like, you can use it to kind of get muscle memory, but when you're playing, when you're out in the field, you're still gonna have to figure stuff out, like that drone is pretty heavy.
And this is why, Stevie, I said, if you want to learn how to dive a building or do anything, you do it in an open field. Herman has been saying this for years since I've known him. There's less to hit way up there. So even if you go up, if you point straight up at the sky and all you see is sky, and then you decide to come down, even if you're disoriented, you have enough time to compensate or adjust or twist or turn to see where the ground is or whatever. Try that first. That's how I started diving buildings. I have a video that I'm trying to put together. I just don't have enough clips, but I actually, if you saw that building dive that I did with the FR7, that's a big, heavy bird. That bird weighs about 3.5 pounds. Okay. Now, if I can do it with that bird, the little 5-inch birds are nothing.
Right.
But practice it. Hey, small town flyer, go straight up in the air. Just go up and then look at the ground and see what it feels like. Because in the simulator, it's the same thing, except minus the gravity.
I'm gonna get back on Liftoff. I'm just hoping that if I'm
check
gonna
out
use
that link that Tom posted.
And
I'll
link that he posted to
point you in the right direction.
I don't like the DJI simulators. It's just not. It doesn't work.
It's not realistic. It's not very. It's very limited.
Yeah.
But again, it was to get people.
But the simulator wasn't
to give them something out of the box.
Hold on. Tom did a nice trick. He went towards the screen like that and disappeared.
But their first simulator wasn't.
Is he on Live Da Vinci? There you go.
You like that, huh?
He just went like this, the screen, and he disappeared off the screen. I like
yeah, he's doing some transition.
Magic, baby, magic.
it.
Live
But
trans-
Stevie, trust me,
Yeah.
if I could calculate how much money in drones that I wasted in a simulator, I wouldn't be flying drones.
right.
You know, so keep that in mind. Velocidrone, like I said, does compensate for gravity and weight, but you need to be a physicist to figure out, okay, I have a 5-inch drone, it weighs 375 grams. What does 375 grams convert to in American pounds? And how does that convert to pounds falling in dead air?
In Velocidrone, because like I said, I downloaded it, I purchased it and everything. I never used it because I never got on. But with Liftoff, they have drone selection, right? So you're switching through the drones and you pick the drone. So they already know, they should already know the weight and everything. They just don't factor.
They do,
it in,
but
right?
but none of
factor
them
it.
compensate for actual gravity. It's impossible because you can't calculate gravity. You can't calculate gravity without having facts like wind shears, which cut across. You can't compensate for that in a video game.
Right.
It's impossible.
Nope.
Isn't there another video game out now too with on Xbox?
DRL, DCL,
Yeah,
DCL, but it's only their drones and their drone type that with drone racing
It's
league.
for the drone
it's
racing
only
league. It's
their
a
drones
promotional
and
tool.
drone type. Where Liftoff, you have about 25 different drones.
You know what? That's what I actually saw it as too, Tom, was a nice promotional thing for them with Xbox and PlayStation.
Well, you know, look, it's a loss lead, right? You're selling how many Xboxes, and now I'm going to make this available to everybody with Xbox. I'm going to get more viewers, but I'm also going to get maybe a wider range of diversity in pilots also, right? So a smart move on DRL.
It's true, because right now I've been looking on YouTube and there's a wave of 6-year-old to 10-year-old pilots that are phenoms.
Man, they're going to eat us up, aren't they?
They're phenoms. When I say phenoms, they showed
there's going to be preschool UAV classes.
Right.
Okay, please.
I saw a video with a 6-year-old girl that made Mr. Steele look like a rookie.
Wow.
Yeah, they're going to tell us, old man, step aside. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's actually good for tech, because if you need someone to go in and fly, kids have no perception of
what's the average age of a DRL flyer today in the league?
On DRL, grown men.
Yeah, but it's changing quick. Look at that landscape. You're going to see, right? It's just what you're saying. That average age is going to start to drop.
Oh, yeah,
Exactly. And I've even seen, no lie, I've even seen as young as a 4-year-old on a simulator.
Dude,
and what he was doing on a
1-year-old an iPad.
I couldn't comprehend how he was 3 to 4 feet off the ground and performing stunts and tricks that people do at 100
because it's all
feet.
relative, dude.
Well,
It sees that as being much higher than you do. Okay.
No, it is. But you know what's the other thing that you have to take into consideration? It's not so much the youth and the hand-eye coordination from the youth. Is the fact that when you purchase this product, you know how much you've spent, you know what you have, you know the investment that you made. Children don't see that investment that way. So sometimes certain things hold you back in certain ways.
You're on the money.
It doesn't hold them back in that way.
Yeah, out of the money.
When you're flying and you're thinking about the 3 weeks it's going to take you to get the replacement.
Right. Yeah, but also remember, kids don't have the same level of fear that we do. They have confidence out of the box.
Tom, you're right. They're fearless and they have no concept of right and wrong.
That comes from the fact of what I'm just telling you. They have no responsibility.
That's true, Michael. Yes. Michael, the same thing happened. Michael's talking about his nephew being young and being good at liftoff. When I first got liftoff, I couldn't get that drone to fly. And I was already a couple of years in with camera drones, you know what I'm saying? And I couldn't get that drone to fly. I was flip-flopping, falling upside down, and the game would reset again. And now So then my son comes over and he looks at the screen and I said, "You want to try?" And he got on. He just took off.
It's a video game.
He just took off. He don't fly drones.
To them.
Yeah. He just took off.
Stevie,
and the same thing happened to me, Stevie, when I first got into flying drones.
Stevie, what happens is they don't think about, oh, this is $600. This is $2,000 if I crash it. They think I can get in the air and do this, this, and that. We think about that. Oh, if I clip that tree, there's $2,000 gone. They don't
Well,
have that
yeah,
fear that we have.
But also hand a 1-year-old an iPad and without any direction at all and see if they can
Well,
use it.
They can manipulate
iPad
it.
is
They can
designed for
manipulate it.
elderly people
We'll
to be
figure
able
it
to
out.
manipulate it.
When I gave out, it was funny.
iPhone, iPad.
Several years back, I had to give all our senior chiefs iPads. You had to see them. It was a fumbling 3-ring circus in that conference room. The fuck do I do with this thing?
They would have been
Was I
lost
make
with
pancakes on
Android.
this? No, yeah, you do this, you do this. What? How? Who? What? I said, guys, take it home. Who's got kids? Who's got grandkids? They all raise their
Right.
hands. Good. Take it home. Have your kids show you how.
Well, listen, guys.
You know,
we
I
have
had
to make-
three of my buddies come in on that following Monday and go, it was freaking amazing. That kid taught me everything. Okay. There's
We
this
gotta
is
mention
second
this.
nature to them.
Hey,
We're
Drone
still
Light.
learning how to
Well,
fit.
it's their time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Before
It's
we
their
get out of
time.
here,
How many times did you laugh at your parents when you got the first remote control television and they were using it to try to clear up the reception on the
Dude,
show?
you don't
Yeah.
understand. I had
Yeah.
years of practice as a remote control myself. I was my dad's remote
exactly.
control.
We were
My
the
father
remote
actually
control.
Plus, I
thought
was
that
my
shaking
dad's
the remote
rabbit ears
control
from
cleared
times
up the
too. Okay,
reception.
back in the
Right.
day.
Listen,
Right.
my grandfather that sat there with the Chesterfields and the Schaefer beer in one hand while I sat in his lap watching the Mets
Rango,
game.
baby.
Guess what? When the Mets game was over, guess who changed the channel? Me.
See, you know right away who the Mets fan is. I
Hey,
said Rango.
listen, quick announcement before we
Okay.
get out of here, because it is that time, but July 10th, which is a
What time?
Saturday coming up, we're
10
having a
a.m.?
meetup here in New York. If you
8 a.m.?
cannot make it, we'll try and have another one so that you can. Please come by and support us. If not, hopefully we will be able to go live on July 10th. Don't forget
What
to
time?
check out Flies. Don't forget to check out the Fly for Fun stream, which is immediately after this. Don't forget to check out Sunday nights with those guys. And I guess I say I
I
got
only got
everything
one
else.
question.
Lawrence,
What's
what
that? I got one.
time?
I only got one question. What time is the meetup?
You know, very smart. 9 a.m. 9 a.m.
Good, good.
Wow.
9 a.m. I did post it in those guys.
Stevie, it's
so-
too late for us, Stevie.
No, that's wifey's birthday weekend.
It
But
was-
I am gonna meet up with either Herman or Lawrence. We'll work it out
Yes.
before the date, and I'm gonna give them a shirt and a mask.
Yes, he's giving away
Right.
some shirts and stuff.
But I'm gonna give it to
Don't
them,
forget
and they'll figure out a
Fernando
way to
Chase.
distribute it. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe, do a little game or something best picture, and you get a shirt
Thanks, Mike.
and
Thanks,
mask.
Fly Zone.
If I'm producing with the website, the capturelifeconnection.com, I'm producing shirts. If I get an order before the 10th, I'll give out more shirts to the guys. Like, I'll donate more
Hey,
shirts.
Fly Zone,
that's what I
Drone,
have.
I hope I can make it
Okay.
to spin up. Right now, it's not looking feasible, but I'm trying to pull strings and rabbits out of a hat to make it to spin up, because I was upset I didn't make it to the one year before last.
Yeah.
And I swore to make it to this one. So, and happy July 4th to you guys as well.
Yeah, spin up is gonna be rough for me.
Yeah, spin up. I'm
Time-wise,
just
there's a lot of stuff
moving
going
around
on
that
around that
time.
time.
So
I might
yeah.
not be even in New York.
Hey,
So
Mike said, where could he
Oh,
buy one of your
it's not in New
shirts?
York.
Stevie?
Huh?
Texas.
It's
Texas.
not in New York.
No, I'm saying
in
I might not
Texas.
be in New York. I might be somewhere else. So I'm not gonna fly out to Austin. I think it's in Austin, right near
Hey,
Austin.
Stevie, Fly Zone Drone wants to know where he could buy one of your shirts.
Go to capturelifeconnection.com. And if you do want to just hit me up so I know it's you, I can give you a discount on the back end. You know what I'm saying? But I have a bunch of shirts on there and stuff like that. But
Okay.
you could check out, there's options there.
What's
So
the link?
capturelifeconnection.com. I'll put it in the chat. But yeah,
Good.
spin up is gonna be rough. I'm trying to make it to Rhode Island. I'm not sure about that one either.
Yeah, we'd love to see you up there, Stevie. If you can
Yeah,
make
that
it.
one.
got you,
Like I
Stevie.
said,
got
Stevie,
your
we're
page.
making it a long weekend, so
I
Well,
got
I'm
you.
Yeah.
trying to hit up
Hey,
everything.
Stevie.
I'm trying to get to that. We got our meetup.
Hey, Mike, here's the link
Well,
to
I'm
his
getting to
page.
Rhode Island, and I'm
Good,
trying
good.
to work out. Spin
There you
up
go,
because
Stevie, I got
like
you.
I said, I
you
haven't
got
got
it?
my schedule yet for September, so I don't know what the dates look like. And I know
Just
that
everybody,
we live in the playoffs, so if that's in November, so
Right.
so
figure out
just,
that.
I want to leave you, I got a,
Yeah, set
Tom's
time to
tip.
get out of here.
I got a quick Tom's tip.
Yes.
Okay. If you're going to shoot, if you're going to photograph fireworks this 4th of July weekend, okay, I suggest if you're going to try to do it from the air, make sure it's nowhere in the New York City area, okay, because you will get hooked up. So be very,
Okay.
very careful, and you don't need the hassle or the headache or to be put in the system. So be careful about flying in the New York area around any of the fireworks.
Listen, I
It will
already
be,
know.
it will be an issue. But if you are filming fireworks, the slowest possible shutter you can use at the lowest possible ISO, okay?
Mhm.
And that's how you capture good fireworks, because you
Yes.
just don't want to capture the initial burst. You want to capture the blossoming.
Exactly. This
And
is
the only
slow.
way to do that, remember, that
Yeah,
happens
yeah.
across a matter of several seconds.
Second.
So if your shutter's not open for several seconds, you're going to miss it. So
Mhm.
long shutter, the lowest possible ISO. You heard us talking about ISO before. You get into those high numbers, you get nothing but noise.
Yeah.
You stick it down real low, 100 ISO, okay, and open up that shutter for 4, 6, 10 seconds. See what you get out of that. Just, you got to work from a steady platform. That's why working from the air isn't always the steadiest platform.
True.
And
This
know
is
where you're
fireworks.
flying.
Tripod
Nighttime,
mode.
nighttime is a different animal. Know where
It's
you
completely
fly.
different
Yes.
animal.
Yeah, because
Yes,
you know
it
those
is.
cables you can't see.
Yeah.
At night is 10 times worse, 20 times.
Not only that, it's
they're in
actually when
tripod
you're
mode.
going to use, here's when you're going to use that map that you've never touched in the lower left-hand corner.
Left-hand corner.
But if you could,
Because you're not going to know where your drone is. And when you're trying to pick out landmarks, you're not going to see them.
Exactly.
You use that map to get yourself back in an area that now you can
And
navigate.
this is why I'm glad they fixed that map issue on the Air 2S.
on the,
For
on
that
the
reason,
fly-
you need to know
yeah,
where you are
on
in
the
real
fly out,
time.
yeah.
Guys, we
Yeah.
got to get the hell out of
Yeah,
here.
it's that time to
Check
get
out
out of here,
for-
man.
For Fun Stream.
You guys head on over there and check those guys out. Tell 'em I said so.
Absolutely.
Visuals.
bye all.
Oh, we'll be back again on what, Lawrence?
Sunday.
We'll be back Sunday. We'll be back
Yes.
again on Sunday. Check us out on Novice Quads, and then we'll be back again after that on Wednesday. Following Wednesday
Everybody
over
head
here.
over to the
So
Fly
everybody
for Fun show.
head on
I
over
gotta
there
wish
to the
everybody a
Fly
happy
for Fun
4th of July, because
Yes,
unfortunately,
yes,
guys, I
I
won't be able
agree.
to be on
Mhm.
Happy
Sunday.
4th, guys.
But happy 4th. It's a work day. So
Okay.
everybody stay safe, be careful, and watch the fireworks from a distance.
All right,
Okay.
guys. Bye.
And with that, everyone, good night, and I'll see you next time on Phantom Flight 101.